Hello.
Ah!
Hello, learners.
Learners?
Welcome to class. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, we're here.
Hi.
Camera's a little off center, but
For no reason in particular. It's because Sunny wants to be included.
we're less important than the
Yeah.
incredible
You're not
art
here to see us.
that you've submitted. Thank you. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for supporting on Patreon.
I'll say up top, thank you, patrons. Thank you for being at this tier especially.
Yeah.
There were some real stragglers getting into crit. So we're gonna vibe it out.
We're gonna try our best.
I loaded up all the files this morning, so if you got in the last 20 minutes, we'll see if we have time. I'm really sorry in advance though, but
I mean these tend to go long crit streams anyway, so we'll do our best.
We'll do our best. It was a bit of a hectic day for us, so
yeah,
we'll see what we feel like doing.
I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, you are physically here. That's crazy.
I'm physically here. Why would that be? What could that mean?
We don't know.
There's no way to know.
You need to close that. I'm afraid.
I'm so radiant.
No, I'm afraid you're gonna get a sunburn on your little white boy knee.
On my knee? No.
Yeah.
I think I'm okay.
Okay.
I think I'll be all right. It's mostly just hitting my cargo shorts.
Wow.
The TA is wearing cargo shorts. Incredible.
Yeah, and that's why the link went out so late because we were just doing something earlier.
I mean, it should have gone out yesterday, but I'm still acclimated. The links will go out the day before starting next month.
You need to write a post-it
note. I need to. I've set a calendar reminder, but Yeah. You need to really feel Julia's absence.
Yeah.
In multiple ways.
You gotta write notes. Do you want me to give you like cute stationery?
I have sticky notes.
But are they cute?
They're yellow. Let's critique some art.
I'll give it a couple minutes to let you famously late stragglers in, but we're going in order of who got them in at what time. So
No way to know. You want me to go back to oh, there you go.
Okay, it's fine. Because one person submitted a video, so I want to make sure that we're able to pull that up easily.
Okay.
Okay, we're fine. We're
nice.
normal.
Nice.
Everything's
great. I'm in a great mood.
Nathan had a nice day. And so did Karina.
Karina did too. Excuse me. I believe Karina also had a nice day.
I'm just, I keep putting it this way, and not in a complainy way, but just, I think yesterday I told at least 5 different people, oh, I'm not crashing out. So that's like emotionally where I'm at.
Don't put it in the newspaper that I'm crashing out.
Yeah. Just unrelated. Very excited for the Pride stream.
It's gonna be so fun. It's next week.
Karina haircut? No, actually tomorrow.
Cool. Yeah. That's fun. They look fresh for the stream.
I hope so.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and if you're watching this VOD later, maybe the stream's already happened.
Yeah. Did you like it? Was it all worth it?
I hope it was good.
Did I crash out?
No. It's gonna be so fun. And this stream's gonna be so fun.
Yeah, we're gonna look at really good art and talk about it in a constructive way.
Yes. And some cars might honk.
Yeah. The weather's sun. The weather's sun.
It's a little sunny today and a little humid as well.
Oh, it's always humid.
Like
it's summertime, baby.
It's summer. The summer's here.
But yeah. Should we get a rolling?
Let's start class.
Yeah. Crit. No, you're supposed to say.
Oh, sorry. Try again.
Crit.
Yay!
I'm glad you're physically here with me.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. We're starting with Jenny Rin. So, I am specifically looking for critique on character design and tips for getting my clothes to look less stiff. For most of my character designs, I think they often look boring, and I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to shaped silhouettes. Anything else that stands out to you? I would love to hear your input.
Ooh.
Oh, I think these characters are so already like well designed.
Yeah,
Okay. We're our own worst critics.
it's true.
But yeah, in terms of clothing looking less stiff, I think you really already kind of are there. Um, because just
Mhm.
um
Yeah.
sorry, I got a text. People keep trying to tell me things. I'm sick of
Oh,
it.
don't
I'm
tell hey.
sick of it. I don't want to hear shit.
Not
I'm
during no shit during
I'm
crit.
busy. But yeah, this character specifically is very fun to
Yeah,
me.
I like
Like
it a lot.
that's not the color I want.
Get a different one.
I am. Heck.
Heck. Ah, heck.
But because I'm very curious to know what. Also, you're manning chat, right?
I'm looking at chat. It's right there.
Yes, 'cause it's over there
It's
now.
over there.
But
Sorry.
yeah, because I'm like in the examples that you've given me at least, like I think like for your thing about the clothing looking stiff, I don't think that's true at all. I in these two examples at least, I think the clothing kind of falls the way that it's basically exactly supposed to.
Yeah.
Because like, these are like more like, form fitting
Right.
and unless they're doing like big moves, like they're not gonna be swinging around like crazy.
Yeah.
Um
I mean, if you want to just like give your characters baggy your clothes, you can.
yeah.
But I like these outfits.
Yeah, because you know, unless something's really flowy like the cape, which, I'm only seeing in this example down here really, there's not going to be that much flow to it, especially in a more kind of neutral position
Hmm.
like these two. So, I'm trying to think of things to say.
Hmm.
I'm not crashing out.
No, you're critting in.
Ooh, he's
Yeah.
nailing it.
I'm. Yep.
But specifically looking for critique on character designs. For most of my character designs, I think they often look boring.
No,
I
all these look nice.
Yeah, 'cause I'm just like it's it's a little hard to judge because I don't have much context for these characters. Because at a glance, I'm like, that's a sick character. I don't really know anything about them. Um, and like I can kind of glean their personality based on the sheets that you've given me, but is maybe that part of it where I'm just like at I'm like, yeah, sly, cunning, cocky, sensitive, emotional, daredevil. Um, but because I'm like, at a glance, I'm just like, I imagine they're like, they got them sultry kind of eyes. So they're like, uh, I wasn't gonna say bloody. Um,
You weren't gonna say it,
I wasn't gonna say it,
and
so
you
it's a
did.
good thing I
It's a good
didn't.
thing you didn't say it.
Um, but yeah, because I'm like, I was trying to think of what I had to say about like the character or the animal characteristics. Was kind of a feline tail, like fox ears, but horn.
Yeah, it's a fun combo.
Yeah. No, I really like this character design, but I guess at a glance, I don't know much about like what this character necessarily does.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, it looks fantasy, and they seem like a rogue.
Yeah.
They're well, they're they're a prince also.
Yeah.
Okay, so the
AKA Prince.
a roguish prince
Yeah.
who uses little stabby friends.
Yeah, because they definitely strike me as rogue. And aside from some of the jewelry elements, I don't know. I guess it just kind of depends on your definition of a prince.
Yeah. And I like the little diamond tattoo that glows when I guess they get upset.
Yeah,
Glows with the eyes.
but
I think there's a lot of cool elements here.
yeah. No, I think these character designs are like really nice. But I guess just at a glance with these two examples, I just don't know that much about the characters, so it's hard to come up with something good to say or
I
something like productive
I
and
guess
helpful to you.
if you're feeling like the designs are boring to you, I guess one thing I could recommend is like maybe change up the face shape, like the head shape a little. Like it's you clearly like have a style and like
Yeah.
the head you could try some different
Yeah.
shapes.
These two do look like a little similar.
Yeah, you give a squarer jaw, more narrow forehead, or just try really push your shapes,
Yeah.
and see if that makes it feel more interesting.
Yeah.
Mess about with it, yes. Um, Jacob has a good draw class about like character design and
Mhm.
really using feeling more free to do to like push the shape of 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 things.
Yeah. Because as someone who also just does kind of like, I like drawing anime, I like
Yeah,
just drawing cool looking guys, I also kind of fall into the same trappings of just like, oh, I kind of have just like a similar, like a comfortable character type of just
right.
like, it's these characteristics. And that's kind of my default. Um, so I think something to consider is trying to step out of the comfort zone
Right.
because I'm like these two characters do look really similar to me.
Yeah. There's
In terms of
nothing
just like even the hairstyle is really similar. And they're just kind of like different colors, different characteristics. They both have like the sleeveless top. They both have a very similar body build. And they just have like different elements that kind of differentiate them. So I think that's like what you mean when it's like shapes and silhouettes. I don't think it's that you don't know what you're doing. You're just, like, because I do it too. Everyone does it where it's just like, oh, these are just kind of like my comfort zone. Like, these are
yeah.
my defaults. This is my template.
And like these are good. It's just
Yeah.
yeah, since you're asking and
Yeah.
if it's feeling boring to you, yeah, feel free to
Yeah.
push some different shapes.
It,
Try some different.
if any part of this critique feels like I'm nitpicking, it's because I think you're already at a really good spot, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of things so that I'm not just being like, "You did a great job." Yeah,
Moving on.
I hope I
Yeah.
hope you enjoyed me looking at it.
I enjoyed me looking at it.
Yeah. But cuz yeah, cuz I I would like to know more about these characters, but as it stands, it's a little hard to tell at a glance, especially for these two cuz I'm just like obviously there's some sort of like, you know, older sibling like younger sibling dynamic or something similar. Um but beyond that I kind of don't I don't have a lot to go off of just uh based on like their characteristics, so it's kind of hard to pass judgment.
Yeah.
But I do love this like Pipper. I love Pipper.
I do want to know more about
Peeper.
Pipper.
Yeah,
Pipper.
Peeper's very cute.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think in terms of like shapes and silhouettes, like just try to do something like completely different for fun. Cause
Yeah, see how it feels.
yeah, because I think yeah. It again, if I'm just babbling, it's because I'm trying to think of like something really helpful to say, and I'm kind of drawing blanks.
Yeah,
But
it's the first one.
yeah, even because I'm like between these two, even the hairstyles feel like the same shape.
Hmm.
So, um, maybe for the next go around or the next character, see about, you know, even just maybe has like a less bang, or the hair is not like
Yeah,
as like.
change up the
Don't
hairline.
change Pipper. I like Pipper,
No, but
but
yeah,
even if
for
it's just like, show me his forehead, show me his 5 head.
yeah,
But yeah, so um yeah.
but it seems like you're in a good spot if like this is the sort of stuff you're looking to
Mhm.
improve on. So
Yeah.
yeah, just push out of your comfort zone and see
Yeah.
how it feels.
I am only focusing on like trying to think of things to say about the design elements because it's what you asked about.
Yeah,
That's why I include the messages so I remember. But also like the technique's really pretty. I love the shading on this one.
the shading's really cool. I
Yeah, this is
really
such
like
a good like these two. It's this is such a good drawing. I just don't like have context for the story behind it.
I really like this the over the shoulder.
Yeah, for real.
That's that's cool.
Yeah, and I love the outfit design. But and I guess in terms of just like um in terms of fabric movement.
Excuse me.
Bless you. In terms of fabric moving, something to keep in mind is like the motion. So just real quickly, as I remember that this is a thing I can say,
Yeah.
um, hypothetically, let's say that the movement is like, "Arr." So you kind of go like down a little bounce. So maybe in this drawing, this is kind of the, so you'd be like, the fabric would kind of like start up here. You want it to be really light. If the fabric is really light, this is only if it's really light. If it's heavy, it's just going to hang. But if it's light, maybe there's like a bit of like whoosh,
Yeah.
and then it goes down, then it goes down, and then it kind of bounces up a little and then settles. So that's kind of the how you do it with flowy fabric, is that it follows the arc of emotion,
Yeah.
which you can kind of maybe peek at our animation draw class that I did a million years ago.
Yeah. We've got
To
a
learn a little bit
nice
about fundamentals on that if you want to kind of think about how fabric moves.
nice backlog of good info.
Yeah, honestly, the Castlevania speed draw with Spencer, like,
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know if he explains it very well, but the way that he animates fabric moving is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And he has such a good eye for weight. And but yeah, it's really it really hinges on the motion in terms of like fabric. It hinges on the motion, but also the like material of the fabric, how it moves. So but if you want it to look really like flowy and dynamic, just assume it's really light. And then look at how Spencer does it. Because he does it really well. It's like one of his tells as an animator. I can always tell because of how he treats fabric. But yeah.
Great.
Well, I hope I said literally anything useful in that big ramble.
I bet you did.
Yeah, congrats on being first. Yippee! Next is
Next.
Sunny Skies.
Ooh.
I've been working on dynamic poses. Belated thanks for the draw class fought on this. And while I think I've come a long way, I can use some pointers on how to improve even further. Regarding the first image, this is a cover draft for a comic I'm working on. Font is a placeholder. I was wondering about the lighting. I have Star, the blue-haired main girl, as lit up and in focus while her love interests are in the dark. I was wondering if I should light them too or if that becomes too many focuses.
Hmm.
Shading input is also welcome. Um, but yeah, thank you for submitting. Hey, let's just do the old Karina classic, why don't we?
Yeah.
Since you ask about whatchamacallit,
Shading.
shading. show. Um, oh, I turned
Whoops.
everything black. That's cool. So I am just looking at a glance, checking your values because I
You
gotta,
gotta check the values.
I gotta be so annoying about this. Um, but yeah, just making sure you got a good range. Um, I will say, and I checked this partially because you were talking about this cover where you wanted Star to be like in the foreground, like lit up and stuff, and everyone else kind of like in the background in shadow, and maybe like uh should light them up too, or if that becomes too many focuses. And I'm checking your value because even though you have like pushed them into the further back, they're not at that receded that I think right now it makes a difference, if that makes sense. Because I because I feel like right now, this, even though they are more receded using like a gentle, I assume, kind of multiply layer, um, they're not that receded. You're being a little sheepish or a little like unsure about how much to recede them. So I don't think lighting them up makes a big difference right now because they're still very visible. Because then, if you look at the values, at least like this, even some of like the lighter parts um of the thing match really closely to the darker parts of the foreground. So I'd argue that you could probably like push it even further.
Hmm.
You know me.
Yeah.
I like pushing it a little too far. I'm not like other girls. So, when you say, yeah, I pushed them, I wanted them to recede, I was thinking more of like, I don't know a good way to do this without it looking like pure, utter boo boo garbage. So sorry in advance.
You're
But
just describing, you know?
yeah, because I feel like if you really wanted them to be like in shadow, then you'd have a stronger multiply layer
Mm-hmm.
is how I would do it. Because right now they're kind of like still, because if you're trying to recede them into the background so that they're not like a focus of the cover, they're still really separate from the background. Like, you can tell even just now, like the ones on the right are still standing out really far from the background, whereas the ones on the left now with like the darker shading, they feel like part of the background. In which case, I think what you're getting at is then doing something like, you know,
Oh, yeah. Then you
have
can bring some parts of
yes,
them forward,
yeah, so that they
and you have like a foreground,
yeah.
midground, background,
Yeah,
sort
so
of.
because then it's like, just zoom in. I know I can't. My
Sorry.
navigator's not on screen. Do it this way. But
Do it the
yeah,
old-fashioned way.
because if you do it this way, man, a lot of love interest. Shit. Okay, star. Um, then they're part of the background, but you can kind of control the lighting to like make make it like a little apparent, a little bit more apparent. That they're there, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And then you can even, highlight different stuff you want the audience to focus on. You can use
Yeah.
the shading as composition. It's like I don't know these characters, but if like you want a character to
Yeah.
seem more mysterious, you can keep them more in shadow. If you want them to be more more of a focal point. You can have less shadow.
Yeah.
You can use
You can
that.
match the lighting to the stars that are featured in the background, stuff like that. But yeah, and then just because I can see it a bit at a glance, no, everything's fine. I think that's it. I think if that's what you're going for, ignore that this shading makes no sense. Um, then yeah, just be more brave with your lighting. Because you draw all this stuff, you draw all these characters,
Right.
like all these like characters and all their like your uniqueness, and you don't want to lose it, but sometimes you have to obscure some parts to really make like the good parts pop.
Right. You've got a lot going on in here,
Yeah,
and so you wanna
it's
you wanna help the viewer out.
that
Uh,
Julia core of just like I drew these like seven characters, and now I'm gonna just like throw a big shadow on them.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, because yeah, if you want like um like if this sure do it in white, sure, who cares? Um yeah, like if this is the what you want the focus to be, then then as much love as you put into these characters, they're not the focus. It ain't about them.
Yeah.
So and then you can just use that like lighting to highlight them as much, just so you know they're there.
Right.
But yeah, if that makes any sense.
I think it does.
Um, I've been working on dynamic poses. Oh, come a long way. I think I can use pointers on how to improve it even further. No, these are wonderful
Yeah.
already.
Those are good.
Yeah, I think I worry about just constantly saying like the same three things in any critique. So I'm like, pardon me if I kind of like, you know, uh,
I think there are some things
blow
that
through it.
that all artists
Yeah.
need to hear, including
Yeah.
ourselves.
I
So
think I think part I think something to consider because I've done like anatomy classes and like
yeah.
breakdown on things is that um in terms of dynamics, especially I'm sorry, like you submitted this one and it's very good and I'm not giving it much focus, but I feel like there's a lot of love put into this one, so I'm focusing on it
Yeah.
is right now it feels not not like very like lacking all dimension, but it's just like it's a straight on shot. Like I am standing here and she's like directly in front of me at one plane and then they're directly behind her all at the same plane. So you know, something to consider if you want to like add dynamics is adding dimension. So for example, she's got her stuff. So maybe her body is turning more towards us. And in which case, I'm doing this on the fly.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
There's an
know,
example.
there's more of a turn to the in the spine so that the pelvis is kind of more in our direction. um
Skiing. This I'm gonna make it. Oh God.
what?
she's doing the sexy Flanders pose.
God damn
It
it.
feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all.
God damn it, Nathan. Have some respect for our
I'm
patrons.
sorry. I'm sorry. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. No, thank you for being here.
That's just what he's
Yeah.
skiing in that. There's a reason.
I wouldn't
You
go like that.
you got to learn some stuff, but you also have to get a little stupider
Yeah.
watching Drawfee. That's the
Yeah.
rule.
You can't have too much education without something stupid.
Yeah, but maybe that'll help you remember.
But yeah, so with this one, like I just kind of like essentially I've been doing a lot of just like, or not a lot, but I've been working in some 3D aspects lately, but it kind of just rotated her, like you just dragged her that way. Um
But yeah, it's like you're thinking about not just
what did I do? Okay. Yeah, so, that puts her like lower half kind of more towards us, whereas
yeah
the upper half kind of goes a little further away, so that there's more of a turn to it, and then it already feels more dynamic, right?
yeah
Right?
yes
um but yeah, and then same with these guys, because right now we're just kind of like looking at them like head on. Maybe like,
they're a little above us.
yeah, they're a little bit above us, so we maybe be seeing like a really great color, really good
Yeah,
data. Um, yeah, so maybe they'd be like, I don't know.
yeah, and again, it's harder to draw characters from higher or lower angle.
Yeah,
Straight on is definitely a easy. It's more of a challenge to
yeah,
do that. But if you're looking to again push outside your comfort zone,
yeah. And
try
it's
thinking
kind
about
of
the
a
vertical
yeah.
space.
It's a similar thing with this one. This one works really well, which is why I haven't touched it very much. But it's just like, okay, I see that it's like a pretty clean moon shape. It's circle, but mm, 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 mm. So maybe in actuality, like the you'd be kind of resting the leg here. So you know what I mean, though. Like, but yeah. Keep planes in mind, I think, because this is really good. This one is really good, and I don't have a lot to say about it, which is why I haven't like said much. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's a lot of just your posing is really good. I think you can push like adding a bit more dimensionality.
for
I think
sure.
maybe that's what you're uh
And yeah, and I
looking
think
for.
you'll just like that's the sort of thing that you'll get more comfortable just doing more anatomy studies and whatnot. Also, just like the more you practice anatomy, the more comfortable you'll be
Yeah.
pushing it in different poses. But
But yeah, no, you're already off to such a good start.
yeah,
This is all really good, and I'm
it's
sorry,
very charming.
yeah, I was just like, but I already really love this cast of characters. They're so varied and cool.
I really like the cat on the moon with its
Me.
tail like straight out,
Me.
like putting on a brave face, but clearly like
Help.
what am I
How did I get here?
doing?
Okay, I think we should move on, but I
Yeah,
hope that helped. Woohoo! Next
yeah,
is Stratostar. Um, I've been working hard on getting better at making comics. The one thing I find difficult is paneling. It's really difficult to determine if what I have is enough to portray what I want. Is there a general rule for paneling? These are recent comics I made for some artsy poems. Also, how do you go about balancing art style and the time you need to draw each panel? I've been trying to figure out a system, but it's been difficult. Um, so I I think I've done a class on comicking. I
you
did.
did.
And I probably mentioned in that class that I have no formal comics understanding. I haven't even read the Scott McCloud book or whatever his name is. So,
Fox McCloud. It is Scott
um,
McCloud. Sorry, I'm just here to provide misinformation and Simpsons references.
please. So, but yeah, I have a real freestyle approach to comicking, and in many ways that kind of makes my life harder, but I always view paneling as just like, oh, you can just like you can just do whatever. But my personal like way that I view paneling, because I have an animation background, that's kind of like the thing that I actually studied, is that I view it as a camera, and I view it as like camera movements.
Hmm.
So, and the thing about comicking is that you just kind of have to decide how much I forget how to word this. It's just like how economical you are about your panel usage. Um, so let me stop and like think about your comics and read them. But I try to think of things. Nathan, feel free to say anything.
Oh, well, I yeah, go for it. I mean, these are really cool. I love the like the metaphor of the like the wolf and the rabbit, and then revealing that it's these two, this like
Yeah.
lady and vampire creature. And then I like the juxtaposition of that with this sort of like real sort of cozy slice of life looking looking one. Um,
Yeah, I love the cat. It's a really good panel. Because something I'm thinking about, and it's because part of it is that it's a little unclear in this one particularly because you're using the same color for the background of each panel as
mhm.
your like page, which I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but I'm gonna assume it is. Um, is that it
Also,
does make it hard to see kind of like some of the paneling.
we are covering the bottom
Oh
right
god
panel, which is
damn it.
he's taken a little picture of the cat with his phone, is what that is. Yeah, cute. Like they both like in both of these, I have a sense of the tone of the comic as well
Yeah.
as like the story that's being presented. So you've succeeded in that regard.
Yeah. I feel like this is the more solid of the two personally, because it has kind of like clear cut like boom, here's the big scene, here's like the establishing shot. If I refer to it as shots, it's because I have stupid animator brain. So like this is your establishing shot, and then these are just kind of these like micro scenes of like, oh yeah, like I am at the table. I am with the cat, and then POV what they see, and then and then the cat yawns, because it's like I said, I view it as from in like a very animation brain point of view. So for me, this would kind of read as like establishing shot like at the table, and then these sort of like consecutive like quicker shots of like eating the cereal, and then the cat yawns,
Yeah.
and like taking a picture. Like those would be maybe like, really really quick shots, like 2-second shots, whereas this is like the 15-second like sort of thing.
Yeah. So having that be a bigger panel
Yeah.
makes
Like
sense.
I think that one works perfectly fine.
Yeah.
My only thing about this page is literally that the gutters are the same color as the background, which I think looks nice, but it does make it like a little bit more like difficult to differentiate some of them. But
Yeah, that's an easy fix
yeah,
though.
but also like the color palette is really nice,
It
and
is,
I
yeah.
actually do like that the
I like it,
gutters aren't white.
and I like the texture
Yeah, the
as
texture,
well.
like everything about this one, I'm like, that's nice.
Very cozy.
This one I feel doesn't read as like bing bang boom as that one, partially because I think you were like being a bit more experimental with your paneling. and that's like really cool, but also like kind of difficult to do sometimes. Especially if you are still kind of like deciding what your style is for it, because there's just like a lot of empty space. Because I can tell you're kind of like trying to leave room for each panel. And again, it kind of depends a lot on just your own philosophy around comics, I think. But mine's is that, oh, it doesn't need that much space, I think.
Yeah.
Um, so like this part especially is like really distracting to me.
Yeah.
Um, and I do like that you I love experimental paneling. And I like that there's this like unfinished edge. But it is this I like. This I like a lot actually. But it's just kind of a little, how you say, uh the space between them I feel is a little inconsistent.
Yeah.
Um and I, as much as I like the metaphor panels, I do feel like they're the weaker ones because they have more traditional like square paneling and they're treated a little bit separately. I think if this one were just like um bigger, like maybe it took up more space, and then like because like down here the hair actually overlaps this panel a little bit, which I think helps with the spacing a little bit.
Yeah, you could even have that
Such a
first panel
shitty.
like go all the way down so that like the bottom is just framed by yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think that would work.
Because I think if you're gonna have like the the drawings hanging out of the panels, which again, I'm into it. I love that sort of shit. You should commit to it. So the fact that there was so much gutter around like up here, whereas like there's a little bit of overlap here, and then this fully falls out of the panel. It was like it makes this area feel really unfinished. Shouldn't be doing this in red,
Okay.
but yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't help either. We're doing it in red. So, um, but I I don't have good advice for like the sound effects. I'm really bad at doing those, and I often just don't. So I don't have a lot of good like helpful advice for that. I think, in my opinion, but I think for this, I think it's just I'm saying I think a lot. I'm
Yeah.
freaking out. I'm not crashing
You're
out.
not crashing out. You're thinking.
But
Sometimes you have to think.
shit,
It's okay.
yeah, it's just for something more experimental like this, yeah, just run it all together. I think as long as you kind of have like enough clear differentiation between everything, like it'll still read the way it's intended. Personally, one of the hardest things about like reading, comics that have a lot of like panels is if they're literally too small. My stupid ass, I'm like, so especially like if, yeah, and I in my opinion, I'm gonna stop saying I think a million
You
times.
can you don't have to.
I want to, but I
Okay.
feel stupid.
No. Stupid people don't think.
What?
Yeah.
Another thing about just like when I say panel economy, this is a kind of a more subtle action where the wolf is leaning in and kind of drooling a little bit.
Mhm.
Um as like an animator, that would be one shot. This is going back to my way of viewing things.
Yeah.
So, the wolf would lean in and be like, but as a comic, because that's a different form of narrative art, I think you could go in closer so it's even more obvious. Because, you know, we're going to know that it's the same shot
Yeah, you can.
in our mind. But I think if you go in really close and show that the wolf is like,
Yeah.
it'll make it even more clear what's happening. Because that's the fun thing about comics compared to animation is that you can use as much or as little panel as you want to show one action. But since it's a comic, I think people can like fill in the blanks a little bit easier. Sometimes if you watch a lot of anime, you want or like a lot of film too, you want to have a lot of really subtle details that will take a lot of extra paneling, but that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it is just a lot of, okay, I want to show like, you know, I think this is the example I've used in the past where it's like maybe your character is sad and then they like resolve. They're like, "Hmm." If it was an animation, perhaps you'd have some like micro expressions in there where it's like, "Mm, mm, mm."
Right.
But if you were doing a comic, that's like another panel, and like
Right.
you only have so many you can fit in one place, and that's a lot of work. I mean, it's a lot of work to animate it too, but it just makes more sense for the medium. So, you know, when you say balancing art style and the time needed to finish each panel, it's a lot of figuring out how much work you want to do, and then just like, okay, I can't have every micro expression and every like micro action getting its own panel. That's too hard. Unfortunately, there's just things you have to cut as a comic maker
Yeah.
and things you have to be like, "Okay, focus on it." Like, maybe instead of having 3 panels that have the same shot where it's like that, and then that, and then that, maybe you have, like, this shot and then, like, a really, like
Just a close up on. Yeah.
yeah, so that
Gets the point across.
yeah, and that's the fun of doing experimental paneling is that you can kinda just make it up, but, you know
Yeah. Fill the space.
yeah, just fill the space. I to look at it in a purely capitalistic kind of way, you know, if you're gonna pay to like print this comic, you might as well be using up as much space as you can
Yeah.
on that paper. Shit. Yeah. I hope that's anything because we should probably move on. But yeah, this I again, if I don't focus on a particular piece that you submitted, it's because I think it's already really good. I don't have a lot to say that I don't think is that that I think is very productive. So the one on the left I think is really lovely.
Yeah. Just change the
If you
if you
want.
want, you could
Yeah.
change the color of the
It's
between the
just it's
panels.
it's really nice. It just, you know, at a glance you're like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah. And I do like the uneven line weight
Yeah.
between everything. The sketchiness of it is really it feels very cozy.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much. Yippee. Next
Next.
is Adrian. Adrian.
Ooh.
These are lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't include your name here for some reason. Friend user Adrian. We just said 2 recent pieces I could use critique on. Oh man, these are really good. That make me come up with things. Y'all are really making me grasp at straws today. Um, Nathan, say something while I think.
These are really good. um. Yeah.
I guess I'll start nitpicking while I like figures out something like really productive
Can't
to
think of
say.
any Simpsons scenes that these. Well, this was
Zzz.
kind of like a couch gag over there. It's a
Oh my
chair, but
god. Yeah. God. I love there's a very like naturalistic quality to like your posing. I the one thing that I immediately like am gonna nitpick is sort of a similar thing of like dynamic posing where I'm like, oh, the hair is whipping around and the pillow's whipping around, but some things about this feel a little bit more like still, like poised up a little. I don't
Hmm.
know. I feel like you could push the pose a bit more to
Can
really
always
like.
push the pose.
You can always push the pose. You can always push the values. I don't know why you guys even pay for this level. That's all
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you. But yeah, because I'm like, this is purely a nitpick because I'm grasping at straws right now. I'm not crashing out.
When you send stuff that's really good, we have no choice but to nitpick it.
Yeah, that's critique.
That the implication is that it's really good, and also we say it's really good. So you can know that
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, because I feel like for the amount of like motion, because like hair's pretty light depending on its texture. Like it's gonna move around a lot, but for this amount of movement, like you can definitely like have have the pose be like real. Why is streamer mode not on?
Do you want me
Nathan,
to turn it on?
no.
Okay.
I hate streamer mode. I'm surprised that it's off.
Yeah, it should automatically turn on while you're streaming, I thought.
I got Discord notifications.
Oh no.
But yeah, because I'm just
Oh my
it's literally
god.
just for like the amount of like push and distortion that's going on in this scene.
Yeah,
It's very dynamic, and I feel like you could just like make the pose more dynamic.
for sure.
That's a complete nitpick. Um, God, I really love this one.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm gonna sound like a total freak, but I really just like the way you drew the torso.
I agree.
I feel like the foreshortening is a little uh okay. I figured it out. I figured out a helpful thing to say.
Yeah.
The foreshortening's like a little difficult to read. Foreshortening sucks.
Yeah.
Foreshortening sucks because no matter how much you reference it, it's gonna not look correct. Like it just doesn't look good in real life. So
Yeah.
you kind of just have to like
You have to cheat it.
cheat it because it's a little hard to read like this finger especially um because it's the way you have it drawn, it just kind of reads as very short. This one's more correct, and my brain kept tricking me into thinking this was the index finger.
Hmm.
Um, and I think part of it is that the thumb is also, and I feel like you referenced this from either just taking a photo or using a photo as reference, because it feels like a referenced photo, but the thing, like clearly
Yes.
it's a stylized like drawing. So it's always really difficult to draw hands,
Yep.
point blank, period.
Yeah.
But
Hands is hard.
hands is hard. But if you reference it so directly from a photo, especially in an otherwise stylized drawing, one, it's kind of difficult if you don't do like a underdrawing to kind of really like transfer it into how the rest of the piece looks. And foreshortening just sucks. It just sucks and it never looks good. So so I think part of it is just that like it's a lot of just breaking it down.
Yeah, deciding.
You're gonna have to freehand it a little bit.
Yeah, deciding what you want to
Yeah.
change.
I'm gonna use your drawing as ref because clearly you referenced it from somewhere, so it's correct. But if you reference something too closely from a photograph, it's just gonna look weird.
Yeah, because real life looks wrong.
Yeah.
You got to fix it with the art.
There was like a high school that I was like guesting at one time, and the kids were showing like their sketchbooks,
Hmm.
and one of them was really struggling with like a foreshortened drawing of like, I think it was either that it was like a hand up in the air or like a foot down on the like going down on the ground looking down at it.
Hmm.
And they were like, "But I referenced it directly from a photograph." And I was like, "Yeah, but that's
The photograph is
yeah,
giving you a weird image.
yeah. This finger's pretty good, and I'm not gonna do this right."
No, you're just critiquing theirs. You don't need to do it. Also,
But I want to do good
yeah.
on our patrons.
But yeah, I was gonna suggest moving the thumb out more because it's
Yeah.
not like perfectly tangenting with the side of the face, but just like it's so far in front of the face, but the way it has and just the way you've drawn it, it like is tricking me into thinking it's like pushing the side of her face, which it wouldn't be. It's way in front,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I think part of, like, foreshortening is kind of like very tricky just because to make it look good,
Yeah.
but I think part of it is just breaking down because I think why this finger in particular doesn't work is because the like, a finger is like three parts. And,
Yeah.
if you just treat the top like a little
Little
nub, like a
nubbin.
little oval,
Yeah.
this one, you don't see it. It doesn't like sit correctly in space compared to the others. So, yeah, foreshortening sucks.
Yeah.
Because especially compared to a lot of the other elements, like in both of these drawings, I'm like, this is definitely one that I can kind of tell that you struggled with. And, but I also know that you can like draw really well and you can draw hands. Like, I love your like stylized
Yeah.
hands. Like, this one especially, I really like. So it is a lot of just take the reference that you have and really break it down into its like shapes and into an underdrawing and then use that to apply like your style. Because
Totally.
if this hand looked more like one of these hands, like primo shit.
Yeah.
So yeah. Huh. Okay. I
Yeah.
think I think that's good.
That's great. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, everybody at different stages in their art journey. You're
Yeah.
clearly like you're doing a lot of stuff right. So we're just
Yeah.
nitpicking
Yeah.
some stuff if you wanna.
Sometimes critique is just nitpicking, but
Yeah.
that just means that you're already doing well,
You're doing a lot of good
and it's
stuff.
harder to find things.
Detectives! Oh, with the
Detectives!
character from the game.
Yeah! Aw, hi!
Little hat man.
Okay. Two very pieces, so feel free to pick one and ignore the other. I don't know, maybe I will. The portrait is one I was never really happy with for a multitude of reasons, but I think the lighting is super messed up, and that's something I constantly struggle with. So any advice would be welcome. I used reference, but added an extra light source, which threw me.
Mm,
Texas piece I like, but it's pretty flat in terms of values, muddy in the middle, and I found it hard to push and pull things forward and back, so thoughts would be great. Honestly, I kind of assumed that um for the Draw Detectives one, it was like a stylistic choice. For it to be kind of, and I mean this in a non-bad way, like flat.
mhm.
Like I do flat. I almost never shade a drawing completely.
Yeah.
And I that's just how I like to do it. So there's nothing wrong with that. But hey,
Hey,
you know what time it is?
value time. Dur, 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 dur.
So here we see probably what is you were thinking of maybe is the problem, which
Mhm.
is a lack of value range, especially on the portrait.
Gotta widen that
Yeah,
range.
I could kind of tell at a glance. I really love like the shading here. Like, this is beautiful work.
Yeah.
I have been not drawing at all, basically, in a long time. And but when I do, I always just end up kind of like doing digital painting or digital coloring practice because I'm fucking exhausted.
Mhm.
So
As you do.
I've been doing a little bit of like painting studies about just like fun ways to shade the face. And this feels so reminiscent of like kind of classical underpainting in a way
Yeah.
that it's like yeah, you're using like the greens and the blues on the skin, and it looks really, really nice and really alive.
Yeah.
And I think it's so lovely, but I could tell at a glance that this is a very soft value range. There's no brights. There's definitely no darks. You're kind of sitting very comfortably in the like
Hmm.
mid light medium range. And I think that's maybe what is your issue. And I
Yeah.
think that can pretty easily be solved by just going in and doing more.
Just darkening
Oh
some
Jesus.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, but I
Yeah.
genuinely
That
love.
whole the way you articulated the
I'm
just
just
like
gonna paint and apply.
different planes of the face
Yeah, like
and use those greens and
yeah,
blues in
like
such a
genuinely,
natural way
absolutely nailed it.
is
I
really
think
nice.
all you have to do is, especially on the side that's not, because this is the light source. So especially on the other side is just literally keep pushing it. I'm gonna do a bad job. I'm gonna do a
Yeah.
bad job to prove a point. But just to kind of like, you know,
Show you where you can go with it.
yeah, like this is a bad shade. This is a bad shade for him. This looks bad. What the fuck? Why did I do that?
Just fix it. There you go.
Okay, we're gonna match it to the background actually.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, literally just this is still bad, but you get the idea.
Yeah. You'd do a better job.
Yeah, you have to fix it. I can only get you halfway there.
Yeah.
And then yeah. Because
And then the background can also be made
yeah,
darker as
if
well.
that's what it is. This is already so like well developed
Right.
that really all you have to do is just kind of go in and fix the value range. I'm using a really airy brush, so it's gonna take a hot second.
Yeah. Got it.
I'm doing a bad job, but I'm not gonna do that bad of a
I
job.
think you're helping. Yeah.
Then imagine though, even more. Wow, I wish streamer mode was on.
I can do it. You can put it on.
No, we're not. I hate streamer mode. But if anyone could hear that, it's Nathan.
It's my fault.
I'm kidding. Nathan went through the trouble of setting it up so that we could stream from here today. So thank you, Nathan.
I did it. I clicked the buttons.
Yeah. Usually it just turns on.
Luckily it all worked. If I had clicked the buttons and it hadn't worked, we would have been in trouble.
Yeah. Then I would have been crashing out. But I'm not crashing out.
My technical know-how consists of do the things and hope everything works the way it's supposed to. And if it doesn't, oh, we're out of luck, buddy.
Something like that.
Jacob
Again,
has much more patience for when stuff doesn't work the way it's supposed to the first time.
Nathan panics instantly,
Yeah.
and then I panic because I don't want Nathan to panic.
My instinct is always to panic and then give up, and that's not
bad.
It's not helpful
That's
in like
pretty bad.
in like a work situation.
Yeah. So good thing we're not doing it today, right, Nathan?
Right.
Yeah, so see, it already has kind of like a bit more
punchy.
depth. Yeah.
Depth is a good art word.
Did I say depth?
Yeah.
Sounded like I said death.
It has a little more depth.
Yeah, and then you can
go back in there
and highlight some of the stuff that you really want to. Yeah. I'm just working on top of what's already here, and I'm like, damn, I'm doing a really good job.
Yeah.
Wow, I painted this?
You made this?
And then if you want to be really, really silly, you can add like an addition layer or something to. Oh Jesus.
Whoops.
To really fuck with that and add some incredibly bright highlights. Just so you don't lose too much. I really love like the softness of this,
Yeah.
and so I would hate to like really
Just some
lose any of
ideas.
it, but
Yeah.
just in case this is something you want to hear. Yeah, especially really close to the light source. So
Oh yeah.
I don't fucking know. How's that?
You could even make the light source itself, because again, when you did the
Yeah.
value, like it's a different color, but yeah, you could even make it actually lighter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something.
This is a bit of a mess, but
Yeah. Well, you're just.
you can do a better job.
Yeah. This is a rough and ready idea.
Yeah, because you can already see that it makes things just pop a lot more.
Yeah.
And then when you do it, you'll do a good job and not just what I did.
Yeah. You'll have more time.
Yeah, you'll have way more time, but you can already just tell at a glance, like it makes a big difference of like both the lighting and just the depth of the photo painting. Am I stupid?
No.
Yes.
Yes. But it's okay.
But yeah, and you know what? Yeah, I don't have a lot to say about the Draw Detectives one. I love it a lot. I like that it's like watercolor and like you kept the texture in.
I really love Rosé's pose.
Yeah, like it's good.
You gave her so much movement.
You said in terms of values, muddy in the middle, and I found it hard to push and pull things forward and back. I I wouldn't have like gleaned that without you saying it. I think because it's a I'm pretty sure it's watercolor. Like it's watercolor and you scanned it. So, to me it just reads as like a stylistic choice
Yeah.
completely. Like that's just kind of what watercolor is, especially if you're not doing like a lot of like thick application, is that it will be kind of pastel-y and gentle and have that nice texture and not very like it's not gonna look really, really like, you know, a big value range because unless you keep going over and over it or using like a really thick application, it kind of just has like one kind of form and one kind of mode, and that's just a nice thing. And I thought, the flatness of it was just like a stylistic choice. I think it suits it perfectly nice. I think it looks really nice as is, but if that wasn't on purpose, then you can just experiment more with the medium.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's nice. I do like the um little bit of like the yellow pop that you've added.
Yeah, and you did it you like when we did the value thing, like because you have them set against this dark background.
Yeah.
The fact that they're all in sort of mid-tones. Like if the background was also that mid-tone, then yeah, you might want to change
Yeah.
that, but you already did it. So,
Yeah. So these are wonderful. Thank you for sharing.
yeah. Always happy to see you draw detectives.
Yeah. Next is Ian. Hello. I haven't worked on many new pieces since last month's draw class, but I've been trying to rework some of my previous pieces while keeping things from that critique in mind. I'm always glad to hear what can be changed in my pieces to make my pieces a pop more. Thank you so much. Ooh,
This is a really cool design on
yeah,
this.
I love the armor design.
Yeah.
So cool.
Getting a little hug. Hug from the back.
Yeah, these are wonderful. Time to be annoying. You know what that means. If you mean just like in terms of these are whole pieces, these are like the piece. Guess what? Guess what can make them pop more?
Value.
Bad news. It's the same thing that I always say. Yeah, because like this fella, this one I could kind of tell at a glance. I was like, oh yeah, it just needs um to be like pushed further out from the background because the whole thing's pretty dark. Um, Glance at chat, unless anything Nathan
I'm
didn't
looking.
read. So yeah,
Chat's just
because
doing bits with
yeah,
us.
I'm just like, especially, yeah, because for this one, it's very apparent just at a glance of like, oh, um, as someone who's a huge believer in, I like to put focus on the eyes. Like the eyes are kind of the focus of this piece, be it on purpose or accident, because they are like the brightest part of the piece.
Yeah.
And especially since it's just kind of a character like portrait on a pattern. Um, it's not like a scene. It's not like a scene where there's like inherent lighting. So I think the character just can be more separate from the like, especially down here. It gets kind of like muddy. Um, and you're losing lots of wonderful detail. Like there's so much detailing on like the what are these? What do you call these?
I don't know what you call it. Just
Girl.
the shirt
Yeah.
bits.
Yeah, the bits. There's so much like
the
fine
the
line.
fashion.
Yeah,
It's
there's so
called
much fine line
fashion.
work on this
Sorry.
that having it like kind of pushed back really close in value to the background is kind of losing some of that detailing. So I think like for this one specifically, I'm like I think just for the character, um either push them forward because also I'm just checking things. Um, yeah, because like even the purple outline and stuff like blends in really well with the background. So I'm like, you can just push it a little bit forward because especially down here, it's just a little loosey goosey. It's a lot of just things touching things, and
Things touching things.
yeah, because I'm like,
Especially yeah, the like pattern.
but this isn't super visible, but chat, if you pay attention to the top left, a lot of these grays are falling in like the mid to dark range. Going on screen, right? Little jiggly guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's not going up here. It's not going up here. And even having anything like in in that range will oh Jesus. I didn't realize I was on that pen.
The pen that makes your computer go ah.
Oh, that's not even the pen that makes my computer go ah. But yeah, I think it's just a matter of using that whole range, that whole up and down, because that's how you get that nice full range of value. And a similar thing for the one on the left, like um, especially there. Can't even see because I also didn't use the correct color.
Hmm.
Um, because obviously we're not looking at it in black and white. It's not meant to be viewed in black and white, but it's always a good tool to see like
Useful, yeah.
everyone plus everyone sees color differently. So
Right.
um if depending on where you're looking at it, am I gonna see this piece like is there a part of the piece that I want to pop more? And in which case, how can I do that? Well, you can kind of just like and see what's not like standing out at all. Like, yeah, like I have horrible vision. So if I just like look at it like this is getting lost, this is getting lost, shit like that. And that's not to say that you need to like change these designs. I think it's just a matter of like adding elements to the background so that they like stand out more, I guess. I think the designs are perfect. I like them. It's literally just like yeah. There's something around here.
Ooh.
Even something like that
Yeah.
makes a small difference. That's why you have things like this like purple outline is just to
Right.
create a further separation between the character art and the background. So then just make it further. Make it further. Because character isn't part of the background.
He's a character.
Main character syndrome.
Whoa.
Be kind of bat coded.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like I hope I'm not nitpicking in any way where it's like, no, it was intentional and he's supposed to fade into the background and the eyes are like supposed to kind of glow. But I think
He was supposed to fade into the background. You probably wouldn't have put the purple
yeah.
drop
But and
there.
even then, because he's kind of sitting in the middle,
Yeah.
whereas the background's really on the dark end, and so he's kind of in the middle. So if you wanted him to fade in the background, then push it further. But if you
Right.
don't want him to fade into the background, then push it less. So that's all.
Pull it.
Yeah. That's the opposite. I forgot. But yeah.
Bop it. Twist it.
But yeah, I love this design, by the way. And
It's really cool.
And for this one especially, like honestly, especially it's too late for this piece, but the red cape makes such a good like extra backdrop. Like, same sort of thing where the white against the cape is lovely.
Really lovely.
It makes a nice line of separation, whereas the white against the um backdrop is not as noticeable. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that one just needs like more something to separate the
Yeah. You could put the drop shadow behind it, or you could just push the shadows like on the underside of the armor as well. That would also.
yeah. But yeah, these rule. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Really cool stuff.
Ah,
People are so creative.
yeah. Everyone here is so creative. I quote that all the time, and I don't even know if people realize what it is.
I don't know what it is.
I think I sent one of them to the group chat one time. It's like an Instagram video where it's
Mm-hmm.
this woman who just watches those weird rage bait like
Oh, that is
TikToks
what that's from.
where it's just like put a whole thing of Velveeta cheese and raw pasta
But
in the oven.
we're saying creative positive
Yeah, when
slash
she
pause.
say it, she sounds positive, but it's like satire. But when I say it, generally, it's not.
Yeah. I like creativity.
Yeah. When I say it to you, patrons, it's
No,
because I'm being sincere.
none of you are doing the art equivalent of putting a whole block of Velveeta cheese into your work.
But yeah. So, okay. Next is Bards Only. Um, who says, probably won't make it live, but excited nonetheless. Most of what I've drawn since last draw class isn't YouTube friendly, so this was a nice excuse to go finish up a whip and a concept I'd had sitting around. What I've been working on lately is values.
Nice.
I still find myself struggling when it comes to outside scenes. If I make the shadows look good on my value checks, sunset moments and nights feel easier, but anything early in the day or in a well-lit room is still very hard. Yeah, that's fair. We just make it up.
Piece on the right is so funny. It's just like this nice, like calm scene, and then you just see like this lady flying with a sword. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh no.
It's
This
me.
city's about to get destroyed.
Me as an average New Yorker.
The implications, just like blissfully walking with your dog while like two cape ladies are about to go sicko mode on each other.
Yeah. I wouldn't even take my headphones out for this.
It's like she's flying up with her sword, and then you've got the other one just standing there, and it's like, oh, they're about to duel, and it's about to become everyone's problem. That's so funny.
No, it wouldn't become my problem. I would simply pretend to be asleep, even if I'm walking. Yeah, no, I mean, that's why I think that's why, like, you know, golden hour, sunset, like daybreak type shit makes for really fun lighting schemes. Because
Yeah.
one, then you can use like complementary colors. It's just like orange light, and then like a golden light, and then like a purple blue shade.
Yeah, that's easy.
Easy, perfect, and it makes the value difference is so clear.
Yeah.
Um and Gorsh. So yeah, this is a really lovely scene. I don't have much to say in terms of just like the coloring of it. Like you got it, and you know you got it. You
Yeah.
said it yourself. It's just like easier to do. As for daylight type shit, well, that one's always really hard. I'm like, do I have anything I can do super fast? I just did like a daylight scene for the render for next week's episode, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
It was good
Because
though. Yeah,
thank
you
you. Because it has a lot more like neutral
right.
a neutral lighting. But let's just say you're outside, it's daylight, or you have a big window open, it's daylight. It's gonna have kind of an ambient like color of the sky. So let's just say it's like a sort of like a light blue. Let's just say it's this, and
Yeah.
then here's you. That's me.
Whoa.
Um,
When'd you get here?
bro, it's my house.
Oh.
So
Wait, this is my house?
no, that's my house.
Uh-oh.
And then maybe the shadings kind of like a gentle
Yeah.
blue. And then yeah.
Yeah, like in this case, you're not seeing the sky. You're just seeing the reflected light off the pavement.
Yeah. Like
So
it's kind of whatever you make of it. You can kind of just make it up. Sometimes I just make it up. But when in doubt, just go for something kind of neutral. For that. And then yeah, depending on the intensity of the light, then all of the value lifting is going to be in the shading. So do anything good? Yeah, it's pretty subtle, but it's always harder. I'm trying to think of like if there's any way I can like do this one really fast. See if
just do it real fast.
let's see if a soft light layer will do anything here. Not really. I
Sometimes you
I
just have to see.
forget
Yeah.
I forget how to do things is the problem. It also just kind of depends because okay, that's more of like a golden hour sort of look. And green.
Ooh.
That's a little sunlighty.
Yeah. That brightened it up.
Yeah. What the fuck? Okay, I went for green because like gold is a little too warm. It'll
Mm-hmm.
make it look more late in the day.
Right.
But blue will make it look too icy and cool, and we're not going for that. So this is with
Green on an
a green
overlay.
overlay.
Overlay, yeah.
Right now it's just at 100% strictly for demo reasons, and
And it's a
then
very light. It's like most
yeah,
almost white, but in the green, the sort of yellow green
yeah.
zone.
Oh, and now just because you know I'm trying not to pull a Jacob and go for 4 hours. We're just gonna do this really quick. All I'm doing is erasing this overlay layer and revealing the work you've already done. Oh my god, am I a genius?
That's pretty good. That's actually really good. Yeah, you already put those
Okay,
shadows
no,
in. You can just
those shadows actually look good as they are.
yeah.
It's always kind of difficult when you're doing like a brighter scene because then you kind of have to do like
Yeah. 'Cause the light's
yeah,
everywhere.
you have to do all sorts of like weird bouncing light. And I always just eyeball it. So I can't speak for much, but yeah. Damn, I might be a professional. I might
It's
know
like
how to do art.
it's like you do this
Shit.
for a living or
What
something.
the fuck? What the
What
fuck?
the heck?
What the hell? What the helly? Helly berry? Helly virus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, and
Ooh.
then
Yeah,
yeah,
then
you can just fuck
you
around with it.
apply imply there's like maybe a building there that's casting a
Yeah.
shadow, just
Or like
fart around with some compositional
yeah.
shadows that because there's so much in the scene that we the audience can't see. You can imply that.
Yeah. This feels like really fucking stupid advice actually because I don't have a lot of like um reasoning behind it. I'm a big believer in fuck around and find out. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was just like, well, it didn't feel this didn't feel like very daytimey.
Yeah.
I do worry that I kind of like washed out this
You
character
just lower the
because
opacity on
yeah,
on the overlay also.
that's lighting does, I fear.
Yeah.
But yeah, because
Yeah, just find a yeah, just
yeah,
add
I was
do some layer fuckery.
yeah, because I'm just like, okay, this didn't feel quite daytimey per se. Maybe, if you wanted more sun, I'm like, well, I guess the sun is bright, so I'll add a layer that brightens, like an overlay layer.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be cool light. I don't want it to be too hot, too warm. So I guess I'll
Green.
just sit in the green, maybe a warm green, so that
Yeah.
it's not
Yellowish green
overly cool, overly hot.
and boom.
And then boom, it kind of makes it look more like they're in the sun. I don't know. And then you can like whenever I need to draw characters in the sun, I'm just like, ano, glow, glow. Yeah, just have like, just I'm like a child. I put the sun in the corner.
Yeah, like you do.
Yeah,
That's
so
where the sun goes.
yeah, it's just kind of like the work is already there, so if you can just do like additive stuff, and then if it doesn't look good, you just delete it, and you're like, actually, that's stupid. I don't want the sun in the corner, and that wasn't quite it. Or you can adjust it.
Yeah. They're just
So
ideas you can try and see what works for you.
yeah, and then you can add kind of like different levels of shading, like yeah.
Totally.
So ah.
Ah.
But yeah, and this one's just really good. No, no, nothing to really say about it in terms of like the shadows and coloring, but I am very curious what exactly is going on in this scene, honestly.
It really feels like comedic. The the focus on this the just people going about their day and then just two caped folks who are about to
Yeah,
they're in their own story.
yeah. They're their own main characters.
It's always fun when the camera zooms out and you just see everybody else. It's like unaware that
Your
everything's about to get hecked up.
but yeah, I think just general advice like, oh, if you're feeling like the lighting doesn't quite match, just take what you have. Think about like in this room, what is the light? In the room we are currently
Ah!
in, there's light coming out of this window.
It's bathing me.
It looks so much brighter on the camera,
It
but yeah.
does, but it's also just
Um,
because I'm a bounce sheet.
yeah, you are.
I'm just solid white. I'm gonna.
But yeah, so I'm just like, okay, there's kind of like it's cloudy right now, so there's a bit of just like
Yeah,
neutral kind of like white gray light. So, I need
yeah,
to pop it out. And then the room itself is just kind of dark right now. So, it's all very neutral lighting. It turned very gray suddenly. Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I hope that gave you some ideas.
Diffuse lighting,
Diffuse. Diffuse?
light diffuse.
These nuts.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yippee. Old
Ooh,
reliable messy Xandrovert. Who specifically said, for this critique, I got marker pieces both with the same problem. The squared areas feel too empty. I redrew them because they were separate images. That's what
mm-hmm.
that is. But yeah, I will take them off. Let you know what it looks like. Yeah. First of all, this is beautiful marker work as usual.
Yeah, that's the stuff you achieve with just traditional mediums is always really impressive to me, a digital boy.
Yeah, I will say I have your Incineroar piece. in my living room, and Redacted were over for recording.
Hmm.
And they were like, "Oh, do you love Incineroar?" And I'm like, "I guess. It's just a beautiful piece."
Yeah.
Anyway, I because here's the thing is that they're nice little scenes and stuff, and I don't know if I would say that just having a space that's empty is like a bad thing. I kind of understand what you mean, especially with this one, just because like this character, my layers, um, like this character is just physically smaller
Hmm.
than um than the other two, but the sky is so beautifully rendered in that one that I'm like, well, why do you need something to be there?
Yeah.
But it's also a little bit difficult just from a like logical artist standpoint of just like, well, what are you gonna do about it? Because the piece is already done,
Right.
in my opinion.
Yes.
Um,
Thinking for a future piece,
yeah,
maybe.
because
What? Yeah.
I think right now is, if you have this issue with both of these two pieces where you kind of get this far and then you're like, actually it feels like something should have been there. Well, I'm curious to know what your planning process is like in that case. Cause if you like thumbnailed it and then did all the work and then kind of took a step back and were like, should something be there? Then that's something that could have been caught early on in the process
Sure.
instead of now when these pieces are so fully fleshed out. I know you're there, Zen. Show yourself.
As Andrew Burt.
Hey, Andrew
Thanks for
Bird.
being a patron.
Yeah, old reliable. But yeah, because there's quick fixes like
Yeah.
tree.
Yeah.
You
The
can you
the
can put a tree.
the Bob Ross classic just put a real big thing even more in the foreground. That's just
Yeah,
sort of leaning in the
but
water one. Instead of tree, you could just have it be some more of this like kelp. Just have like
yeah,
a big kelp in the foreground, sort of.
tree in the one, but cut it last minute before inking. Yeah, because
Oh,
I'm like
there you go. That
I feel like
explains.
these are fully realized pieces. It's kind of difficult to be like, "Oh, yeah, just put a tree and good tree green in." I'm really pressed for time. You wanna fucking fight me?
Yeah, you can do background tree or foreground tree, where
Yeah,
it's sort of like
because really just like but yeah, because it's just kind of like honestly, this is something that, you know, I it feels like I'm condescending to you by saying it, but again, this is just kind of like a lot of nitpicking because I'm like, they're beautiful. What do you want me
yeah,
to say?
they're really nice.
Or it's just like if you like got to the end of the piece and were like that part feels empty, then I think that's something you probably should have realized in the planning stage.
Sure.
For something this like realized, like this whole like these pieces feel very realized, like they're so beautifully rendered
Yeah.
that if it's just like, oh, hmm. And, I'm like, well, that's how it's supposed to be because you made it this far.
Right.
They're not as light as I intended. I mean, I think it looks really nice. Yeah, we're doing it. No, but I think it worked. I think they
Yeah, no,
work really
I
well.
think your
It's
values are really, yeah.
yeah. I think
Oops, you did a good job.
yeah. Oops, you thought you did worse than you did, huh? Funny.
Yeah, you have it creates a really nice composition, the lightness on the surface of the water and the little
Yeah,
lightness on the highlights on the character.
yeah. I'm like, honestly, I think since there's like this nice pop of like a lighter like of light coming there, then it works perfectly fine. Like I think because you put so much care into the backgrounds, it doesn't feel empty. But we're our own worst critics, so
Yeah, for sure.
you're always gonna look at it and be like, ugh, what the fuck? But just know that to others looking in from the outside, you're like, oh, was that not? But I think between the two, like this one I understand better. Because
You had a tree and then cut it.
yeah, because it's not the same thing where like there's this dark and then there's like light as you go to that area. And the the character lighting is also kind of matching that, whereas this one it's just like here's the light source, so we got like kind of focused around here, and then there's like a smaller character on the ground, so you're and the tent is over here. Um, so it does feel like a lot of the visual weight is on this side. Uh, but again, I'm just personally, I'm a little like little cocoa melon Chikawa brained baby right now, so I'm just like, ooh, the sky is so pretty.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
But I'm just like in terms of like, is there anything to do now? I don't think so. I think the piece is done,
yeah,
you
if
know.
you're feeling this way, yeah, just think about this more in the planning for the next one.
Yeah. Um and yeah, because I'm like, if you were being really particular and we're gonna ever redo it, I would say just move the tent. Switch the tent in this
Yeah.
rock.
Oh yeah, put
And
the tent behind the
maybe
little character.
yeah, maybe that would rebalance it in a way that you like better. But all of that is just kind of stuff that I think it's too late to worry about now. I think these pieces are done and they look really lovely. But in the next go around, just be sure to be more intentioned with your planning stage and be like, okay, these are where this is the shape. This is the shape.
Just the
So,
shape of things.
but I think these work really well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good work. Better luck next time. But to me, they're beautiful. Good work. I love these.
Meow.
Um, I will go ahead and say now that we're gonna be going overtime. Is that okay with you,
Yeah, yeah.
Mister?
I assumed a crit stream would go over
Yeah.
time.
Um, I will go ahead and tell the chat now because there were some of you that got your stuff in really last minute. I made this file like right before lunch
Mhm.
and then rolled out. Um, during the months where it's like me and Nathan in charge, I'm just gonna keep doing this.
Yeah.
I think next month you'll be in charge, so we'll probably do a guided
Yeah,
practice.
we'll be alternating between crit streams and
Yeah.
guided practice for DrawClass.
And
Excuse me.
so in future months there will be another chance for critique. And if for whatever reason like you can't keep your tier up at that, um I'll bear that in mind. And if you submitted late, we're probably not going to get to it today, but is it okay if I do it next time? Whether or not you're still a learner patron, I will keep it in mind. I will write myself a sticky note.
Mhm.
I love doing that. So, just a heads up that if you're not on this doc, I'm probably going to call it um, at what is finished on this doc, just so we're not going all night. But if you didn't, I will make note and include your submissions in the next one. And if you're not still a learner at that point, I will do it anyway. 'Cause I'm
Wow.
also just like I don't expect you to if you like joined the tier to keep it going the whole time. That's a lot, but we appreciate your support. I just critique streaks always go long.
They always go long anyway,
I figured
and
I'd
yeah.
just make the call now. So just a heads up.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is so eepy me today. Sun went down. So I'm gonna get so eepy. Do I
Just a
look
bit behind a cloud, yeah.
crazy if I do this? This is This is my
Ooh.
depression lamp.
Ooh. No, that looks good.
Yeah, do you want this?
Yeah, that's gonna help. That's gonna help me too.
Yeah, wake up, wake up.
Do a little.
Okay. Yeah. Um. Okay, so EP says, I figured with another crit class coming up, I could get some review, help, critique with my SWAT cat redesigns before I go through the whole process of rendering. I want these characters to feel distinct from one another in shapes, outfits, and personalities. I've also decided to add a mock up line art chart of the OG SWAT cats for comparison.
Oh, cool.
Cute, cute. Okay. Um, so I'm gonna go I'm gonna hit the ground running with this one to say I don't have I assume I don't have all of the context for the redesign. I don't in that I'm like, is this an IU? Is this just a straight up redesign? They're still doing the same things with slight differences
Hmm.
and stuff. Cause one, they're very cute. I think you've definitely succeeded in having like distinct like shapes and showing that in your redesigns. Um my only nitpick is I'm not sure if going by outfits alone, it has the same how do I say? If I can tell as much about the characters as the original. Like in the original they have like pretty distinct looks of like the what do you call it? The jumpsuits.
Jumpsuits.
It's like a
The
jumpsuit. Oh, they look like they got a little hanky going on. They have like hankies. I need to stop saying hankies.
hankies.
Happy Pride.
Yeah, they look like they work in a
Yeah,
garage.
definitely. That's what it's for. And
These guys
but yeah,
look
they look
like
like they work in a
they
garage, and then
work at a
like
coffee shop.
the business one is very businessy, suitcase, all that shit. Um the last one looks like, I don't know, like a spaceship commander.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, they have like they
The
have very distinct kind of like outfits that give a lot of indication as to like their personalities and their professions, I guess. Um also uh hey, I actually don't know that much about SWAT cats. So I don't have any like prior knowledge of what these characters originally were or anything. Um I don't actually
I
know
also
that
don't
one.
I don't know either. Sorry.
So, just based on the sketch alone, like I think the designs like these are so cute.
Very cute.
Very cute, very distinct. I get a lot of information or just like distinction between them in terms of just like, you know, face shape, body size, etc., whatever. It's just that the outfits don't inform me as much about the character as one, the original, which thank you for including, like, for comparison reasons, like, that's helpful. I wouldn't know otherwise. I wouldn't know anything about this at all. But, because I imagine you're not trying to do a one-to-one redesign, which is hell yeah. But, in terms of just like, "Oh, are they still doing the same kind of jobs that are in the original?" I have no idea. I honestly kind of assume no based on your redesign because they're kind of dressed for a different sort of vibe.
Yeah, the intent for these initial redesigns was to show them in their civilian non-mechanic clothing. Helena is outside of her enforcer. That's the what she
Okay.
is. She's an enforcer.
Nice.
But now she's just out on the town.
Girls just wanna have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because 'cause I'm just like, I wouldn't have known otherwise, and, without knowing that this was, like, what the intention is, I wouldn't have, like, picked up on it at all. I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, these characters are what a fun cast of characters."
Yeah.
But yeah, 'cause yeah. No, these are really cute redesigns. I was just trying to like figure out the context for everything. Um, well, yeah, because again, I don't know that much about SWAT cats.
They're cats. They fight. They they fight the bad guys.
They fight the bad guys.
I think so.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. I could do a quick Google.
We don't have
Sorry,
to.
Julia's not here, so I gotta be Drawfee Google. Hold on.
She's busy.
Just call Julia.
Yeah,
Julia, can you
can you
Google?
look up SWAT cats and tell us what they do?
So yeah, they have because they also like the two main ones. They swap into like superhero outfits.
Ah.
What? Give me like an overview. Set in a world of anthropomorphic felines. Let me let
Lucky.
me let me do let me do the Wikipedia one. Da, 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 da. Jack Razor Clausen and Chance T-Bone Furlong were members of Megacat City's paramilitary law enforcement agency known as the Enforcers. They were dishonorably discharged from the Enforcers after disobeying orders of Commander Farrell, which resulted in the destruction of the newly built Enforcer headquarters, while in pursuit of the criminal Dark Cat.
Okay, we don't have to talk this much about it.
Okay.
We're going off of vibes alone too. That's kind of what the point of a character lineup is seeing more about them. But
Little siren outside.
do you need something?
Well, those might be the SWAT cats.
Oh,
Or the Enforcers.
ah!
So yeah, they got discharged, and now they make their own. They're operating outside the Enforcers,
Yeah.
doing their own stuff.
So yeah, I think this. I think I'm never sure about what I'm saying. It turns out, but I think, in my opinion, I feel like this is the most successful one, in that she has like how you say, knowing very little about like the source material and the intent of the redesign. Like, I feel like she has a very it shows off a lot about the character.
Yeah,
like in that it's like this kind of business casual outfit.
There are echoes of the original
Yeah.
design in ways that the other
Yeah.
ones are less
Yeah.
doing.
Like I think just like even the like simple details of like the cut of the clothing and the type of clothing inform about the character in a way that the others I just can't quite pin down in the same way. I'm
Mhm.
just like, oh yeah, she's kind of given like these, for lack of a better way of putting it on the spot, like Lewis Lane kind of vibes, and like she looks like she works in an office.
Yeah.
Whereas the other ones, I'm not super sure, and I don't know. I can't place as much about them comparatively at a glance, knowing not all fuck all about the source material, because I don't, and that's not your responsibility,
Mhm.
or my responsibility to know. But just going off of vibes purely, I'm just like, okay, I'm like, this one works in an office. This one's big and strong. I don't have much else to go off of in terms of that, but does that make sense?
I like the amount of midriff
Yeah.
showing in all of these. That's a fun.
Yeah. That's how you know she works in an office, because she's not showing any.
Yeah. She's more modest.
They chewed her out. But yeah.
But these are really cute.
Yeah, no, these are super cute drawings. I love their little faces. I think this one's my favorite. Just so cute.
Yeah, a little sass.
Yeah. And I do like the like diamond shape of the cheeks. It's so cute. I think she is my favorite in terms of like overall like execution.
Sure.
And that she kind of feels the most distinct from all of them. Like she's a cute color. Um she has like her fun like 80s hairstyle, and she kind of just yeah, I think as much as it's like, yeah, I like the cropped tops, but it doesn't feel like it's particularly informing anything about the character. Because I'm like, that's why I know she works in the office because she's the only one who's not wearing one.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I'm just like, I just don't know anything about the other ones. So I'm like,
Yeah, you can do more storytelling
with the
with the
outfits,
outfits if you want.
yeah, because I'm like, I don't know anything about the enforcer cat, and I'm like, honestly, this little image, I kind of assumed that she would be like more like buttoned up, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
So I'm just like, oh, like I like this is a cute outfit. It's just kind of not the one I was expecting.
yeah.
So, I'm just like without knowing that, the anything about these characters, I'm just like, aw, aw. But yeah. These are really cute redesigns.
Yeah. It's all happening outside.
But yeah. But that's also just me being like, I'm missing, it's the same as like the first one we did about character design today, where it's like, I don't have all the context. So, maybe I'm wrong about some of this, but yeah. I hope that makes sense and doesn't come off as like, you know?
I know. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, if you're looking for critique on these, yeah, maybe consider
Yeah.
incorporating something into the outfits
Yeah. It
that tell
doesn't
you a
even
little
need to
more.
reflect the original. It's just kind of
No,
like,
just like whatever
yeah.
you have in mind for these characters in the
Yeah. Because I'm just like,
whatever redesign
maybe my read
project
is
this is
wrong.
for. Yeah,
Ah.
put
But
a little graphic on one of the tees, or
yeah, we love a graphic on a tee.
you
That
know,
instantly just like elevates any shirt of just like, okay, now I understand like kind of what your deal is.
yeah,
But yeah, I do like this outfit. This is very cute.
yeah, nice,
Yeah. But yeah, that's all.
great.
I think we gotta go. I hope that informs.
I think so.
Okay. Thank you. Next is Bloom Crane.
Ooh,
Yar.
cool.
My first drawing is fan art of Carnival from Love, Death, and Robots, and the second one is an OC, original creature. My main struggle is creative posing, doing coherent finish pieces, and also transferring my creature anatomy knowledge to actual figure drawings. I feel like I need to make my creatures gestural first. I've already gotten some of my critique on older pieces from Jacob and Nathan. Curious to see your take. Oh, okay.
Creature.
Mm, I'm also glad that Nathan is here for this one
I'm here.
because
I like
he's
creatures.
a creature guy.
Yeah.
Mhm. I did also just want to say that feel free to do any follow up in the Discord
Oh,
channel.
for sure. Yeah.
I'll
That's
peek at
always
it. It's just not going to be as on stream.
yeah, but
It'll be after stream.
it's always really cool to see
Yeah,
what what advice people take and
but yes.
how they apply it.
Okay. I am thinking. I feel free to join in, Nathan.
Yeah, well, I mean, for the unfortunately I haven't seen that particular Love, Death, and Robots carnivore vignette, but it does look like this creature design is using some like a combination of
Sure.
animalistic and humanoid features. Like the arms and hands look very humanoid to me. And so that you can definitely
Yeah.
improve on these by doing some just life drawing and getting a better sense of how arms and hands
Yeah.
move in space, and then taking that knowledge and then monstering them up.
Yeah, because I'm a little confused about this.
We're dealing with some foreshortening. It
Yeah.
looks like he's sort of reaching towards us.
Yeah, 'cause I'm trying to
Um,
decipher the pose. Because 'cause I'm like
like he's turning away from us, but then
I was kinda reading it as, like, doing a flip that like, doing kind of a spin or something that way,
yeah,
and
looks like he's doing like a
then
wall jump turnaround sort of. It's like this arm's back here like this, and
mhm.
then this is coming forward like this.
Yeah, okay. I
But
think
yeah, I
I
think
think,
you
yeah,
can
this is another one where the foreshortening is gonna be hard no matter what.
this legs up like this. Wall run and tail whip. Yeah. Yeah, I think you could for sure make that close hand bigger
Yeah.
to indicate more depth. Um,
Something. Yeah, it was a little, like, uh, hard to scroot out at first, so pardon if I was like, "Huh?"
oh,
But yeah. Yeah, I think the foreshortening just kinda threw me.
yeah,
I think yeah, I'm like, I forget if I've said this, like, in a class stream, but when foreshortening, just kinda treat everything as, like, a funny little shape, like a sphere or something, like, here's your
right.
hand,
Your hand is a sphere.
and then here's your forearm, back, and then here's the other arm, and then shoulder, you know?
Right.
And then you just kinda figure out how it stacks.
It's a bit of a stack.
Yeah.
Stack that, yeah,
You know?
because those pieces they get bigger
Yeah.
physically as they go away, but they look bigger as they come towards you. So you have to
Okay,
balance that.
okay. And yeah, because I'm like, it's a combination of like lizard, shark head, um, and like you said, it reads as a little humanoid. Like the arms are humanoid, so presumably the shoulders are a little humanoid.
Yeah, and the legs look
Yeah, because this, I think
somewhat
I think it's a lot of just like same thing as like what I've said for a couple other people, which is like, oh yeah, like think about your dimension, like dimensionality, because I think the desire to show this arm in that way kind of overrides what the anatomy might actually be doing. Like,
right. Yeah, I still struggle with that from time to
yeah,
time.
I think it'd be more like this sort of thing, you know.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, and then they just nice, smooth thing. Uh, and yeah, now this is pretty sick though. I think part of it is just continuing to do just like anatomy and finagling. Because I mean, the fun thing about a creature is that you can kind of just make it up. You can kind of just fucking make it up, but
but I think
a lot of it is based on real
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I think similar advice that you gave the sexy Flanders skier, think about all of the dimensions when
Yeah,
you're doing this. Like yeah, it's a little difficult to
yeah, and
uh,
that's kind of specifically referring to this one because it does have some like very real like real invertebrate animal like tendencies of just like, oh, it has these kind of humanoid arms and it feels like, maybe a humanoid shoulder structure and then a lizard torso and body and
yeah,
like dog legs.
little dog legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just life drawing, like you'll get more comfortable. Like this is a fine piece. Like if you like, I wouldn't worry too much about like this individual piece, but just in general,
Yeah.
if you want to be making more creaturey stuff and making it dynamic, like I would do life drawing of both people and animals, and uh also uh go back and forth between just doing like gesture and contour drawings that to also doing more in-depth studies of um, you know bone structure, musculature, all that stuff. And the more you understand both like theoretically how all of that stuff works, and the more experience you have drawing it, the more comfortable you'll be manipulating it and representing it in your art.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
bug creature over here is like very far outside the realm of like familiar. There's like this sort of 80-20 rule in like design where it's like 80% familiar, 20% unfamiliar. This is like so
It's so
cool and creative. I
creepy.
don't have I
Yeah,
can't
this one I'm like,
I can't tell you how this one moves because I don't have any like
it looks kind of like
handholds.
a spider,
It's like a
like a
spider,
crustacean.
but it also has like almost plant like
Yeah.
features
No,
as
I
well.
think this one's pretty
It's
successful on
very
design just because I'm like, again, you just make it up.
it looks very
But
alien
yeah, so I'm like, no,
and
I
uncanny, which is
it's creepy. I don't
it's
like
cool.
it.
It's very effective.
I probably should have
Um,
like sorry. Those are gonna bother someone.
oh,
Oopsie.
eh,
Um,
sorry.
but sorry, I didn't think about it. I was too unlocked. No, I think this one. I think especially because you said it's like an original creature, like one of your own design, I presume. So like this one feels more fully realized.
Yeah,
Because this one is fan art, and I'm like, again, if we kind of harp on something, it's because there's or like if we don't have much to say about one thing compared to the other in any critique, it's just kind of like, oh, the other one is like good. Like it's harder to say something about something that you don't, and you think is already successful. Um, so because I think with this one, because it's like fan art, it's I don't know if you've drawn this, creature before, like not in such a complicated pose. Because this is like a really like ambitious like posing. So
yeah,
I'm just like, I don't know if you like because like I can't tell. I feel like and I again, this isn't a bad thing. This isn't a mean thing. I feel like you don't have a strong grasp on like the anatomy of this specific creature because it's all over the place and it has all these different elements and to take something that you're not like fully like about just and to put it in such a complicated pose is like very ambitious.
yeah,
And like you you I just feel like from the posing and how, like, some of the anatomy doesn't feel fully realized that you just didn't, like, fully understand the structure. Whereas with this one, I think you do. I
yeah.
think it's really good.
Because
I'm the one who doesn't understand
it
it.
fully came from your mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like for anything like yeah, fan art also like it's like yeah, and I don't know what your process was for this piece, but I would absolutely recommend trying to do a less complicated pose like study of the creature just so you
Mhm.
have a sense of all of the component parts.
Yeah.
Um
I
yeah, I
mean,
mean
it's the same thing as just any animal, like
yeah, there's so much going on in this one though. And so like yeah, definitely don't feel bad about it.
yeah.
Like it's cool and effective. We're just trying to help you get it to the next level.
Bit out of my comfort zone with more humanoid
For
shape.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Plus like having all of this like it's kind of got like again humanoid lizard like dog shark
And
like
I
that's a lot of stuff to know.
and again, I haven't seen the source material that it's from, so I don't in my mind have a sense of how this thing moves. Maybe it is maybe you nailed it and like I just
Yeah,
don't
I
like
wouldn't know any
it's
better.
not doing what I would expect a creature to do,
Hmm.
but that's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, typically there are like sort of hard and soft places on bodies where it's like there's bone structure and then there's musculature around it, and so like you want to know what bends and how it bends and what is solid and stationary,
Yeah.
and that can help you, the bendy bits you can really push, and that can create more dynamic and more
Yeah.
lifelike
No, I can definitely
effects.
tell that you're like way more comfortable with this sort of creature, and this is more your wheelhouse since you say like, comfort zone. Yeah, I'm like this one feels really really successful, and also no worries about the trypophobia. Like, I probably should have got that first, but it doesn't bother me or us specifically. It's kind of just a
Yeah,
general. I'm
yeah.
like I'm like borderline, so I'm just like
Whoops.
it's fine.
Yeah.
It's not the sort of patterning that bothers me, so I'm just like,
Hopefully
okay,
if
it's
it
fine.
if it bothered someone, they clicked off.
Yeah, or just scroll down
Yeah.
or just look away.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
Sorry again. Yeah.
yeah, but because I'm just like, oh, I only noticed because it like almost bothers me, but I'm
Hmm.
good. It's for other people, but
But yeah,
yeah,
I think
no, this one feels like, oh, it's so creepy. I like it.
but yeah, I've done some classes on creature design and drawing animals, and yeah, it definitely feels like the sort of thing that you'll get more comfortable the more you practice.
Yeah,
But it's really cool, and again, like
yeah.
nothing wrong with trying something ambitious, and I assume you learned a lot from the process of just like making this piece. So keep at it.
Yeah, this is fantastic stuff. I do like this creature design, and I do like I like that it's like creepy and like borderline off putting. Like, and
Yeah,
I like because that's cool. That's cool.
very cool.
But yeah, good work. Okay, next is Scarlet Cackle.
Ultron.
Um,
That's Ultron.
yeah, it says it right there actually. Who says, "Thanks for doing another one of these so soon." Yeah, you're gonna get more of these until I think of literally anything else to do. um, the first one is Ultron. The first one, Ultron, is my most recent piece. I like how the character turned out, but my original idea for the background, very simple with some rubble debris in the back, wasn't landing. So I went through so many completely different iterations to landing on one I didn't hate, but I'm still not a big fan.
Hmm.
Um, and then the second one, Polaris, I've been trying to get used to multiply layers, so I took an older piece to test it out. The original is the one with the bright pink background. This one.
Yeah.
And the slightly darker one is the one where I tried using a multiply layer to adjust the colors. Any advice on how to use this feature would be much appreciated. Okay. I am scratching my neck. Yeah, the Ultron one, like the character's good. I love the use of like I I don't actually know what Ultron looks like, or at least this iteration, but I like the use of the black kind of shading.
Yeah.
That's shading, right?
Yeah.
That's not like a suit design, right?
No, no, it's
Okay, yeah,
they're
yeah,
just
it's
they're just made
cool.
of metal, I
It's sick as
believe.
fuck.
They're
Yeah.
they're a big robot.
I love a good just like solid cell shading. So cute.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah,
Um
the dark shading with like the rim lighting, really effective.
yeah. Realize this.
Whoop.
So, I do I do see what you mean about the background. I non-derogatory, non-pejorative, like it does feel a little bit like, "Oh, I was gonna do something else and then I put this one instead." And I think part of it is just because like I can see the resampling. Like it looks like you expand like you blew up
Yeah.
the image past its original size. So unfortunately that does kind of uh detract from the look of it. Um
Yeah.
because non-pejorative, it just looks like a little
Over.
corny. That sounds mean, but you know what I
No,
mean.
yeah.
Like, as someone who does really lazy backgrounds all the time, I'm just like, yeah, it's sometimes it just gotta, I feel like even just having the stars would be fine, but
Or you could do like just fully silhouette the big Ultron,
Ooh, that's
and then maybe
true.
just have like the red glowy bits,
Yeah,
and then that really push the rim lighting on the side that overlaps with it. I don't know.
that's true. Yeah, I think if this was the background you wanted to go with, part of it is you'd probably be better off redrawing it because resampling like that does just kind of make it look a little like
Yeah,
silly.
you could just trace it. Yeah,
Yeah, just
even
trace it over, I
if you wanted
mean,
to keep.
and then you
Yeah,
can do like what Nathan said, where it's a more silhouetted thing with like really, really exaggerated highlights. That's a good idea.
yeah, that's an idea. Just an idea.
Yeah,
Because yeah,
but
the
yeah,
the the Ultron itself is
yeah,
is
it's
really
it's
nice.
really good, and I just fear that the resampling issue does kind of detract from how nice it looks. It's not a fault of yours when I say it looks corny. It's a fault of just the process. Because I'm just like, no, it looks cool, but then you just kind of like resampled it too big, so I can see like
Yeah,
it's
it gets
blurry.
a little blurry. Yeah,
Yeah, and it just
but
you drew a cool thing and you want to present it in a cool way.
it's
So if you want to keep it with this one, just redraw it,
it's
trace over.
incredibly relatable
Yeah.
situation to spend a lot of time on a piece that you really like the subject of, and then the back like have no idea what to do with the background. That's me with a lot a lot of my stuff.
Yeah,
So
all of my Drawfee renders, I'm like, that you
we're
get what you get.
we're right there with you.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, because I'm just like, I say all of this and I'm like, I hope I'm not sounding mean. It's because and I've just been thinking about this lately because like I've been working with like Onsta and like the artist Outlaw Eric who does like our VTuber models, and I'm like, that's his work and I need to make sure that in any context I'm using it, like it looks good because you don't want to go through the work of doing a cool character and then present it in a way that makes it look goofy.
yeah,
Um, so because you drew a cool character, it looks sick,
yeah.
and so it should continue to look sick. So that's all I mean by that. I'm just backtracking because I feel like I worded it in a stupid way that made me
No,
sound like a bitch.
no. You, yeah.
But yeah, I hope you understand what I mean. Yeah, I think Nathan's idea is really cool. It's just that if you want to have him really big in the background, you should redraw it because then it'll just look cleaner. It'll
Yeah,
look so sick.
yeah. It just like takes it down a notch in terms of like professional
Yeah.
look to have the
Wow, I'm getting Discord messages.
no. Yeah. Just be aware of that. Like resample.
Yeah,
Anytime
resampling's the
any
fucking devil.
anytime you scale something up, it's not
Yeah.
gonna
There's
look
only
good.
so high you can scale it up before it like starts to look kind of so
Yeah,
yeah. But no, it's good. It's really good.
and
I'm
then
just like you do a good thing and it'll look better in a different context. And then the other one,
Polaris.
the Polaris. All right, I forgot my navigation. I hope I get more Discord.
I could send you some.
Please.
Just-
Hi. At least it's only coming through my speaker. It's fine.
Yeah,
I'm sorry I'm
we
giving you
have.
a hard time. It's just funny.
It is funny. I mean, sometimes you just got to do what's funny.
Okay, so this is about multiply layers, and I'm gonna be so honest. I'm like trying to figure out how you use the multiply layer. Because if this one doesn't have one and then this one does, I mean I understand that like some of the colors are different, but I'm like mirror, mirror. But yeah, are you very familiar with them? This is mostly just me being like, huh? Huh? Nathan, shut the fuck up.
You told me to. You told me to. You did.
All that time quietly like going through your Discord messages, you just send me the standing guy emoji.
Well, that's the last thing you sent me.
Ayo.
I just sent the standing guy emoji.
Yeah, it was funny actually. It was funny all along.
Was sometimes the funniest thing you can do is just repeat
Yeah.
what a funnier person said.
Yeah.
And in this case, Karina is that funnier person.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm mostly yeah. Um, but yeah, because I'm like,
We're in bonus time now. It's
yeah,
getting silly.
it's whatever, man. The sun went down.
The sun went down. We're in the
Yeah.
warm glow of the
of my lamp that keeps me from crashing out, which
Yeah.
I'm not.
We're not. No one is saying it.
I was telling David that, with how things have been going, if it was like, late January or February, I would have crashed out and have caused a company-wide incident by now. But it's not.
It's not.
It's summer, so
so we're
I'm
good.
normal. Okay. I was waiting to see if I got a reply. I'm just like, because I'm like, there's shading in this one, and this one looks the same, just different.
It just looks like the darks got darker, maybe.
Yeah, because it feels more like an adjustment layer than a multiply layer. So that's why I was asking. But the way to think of multiply layers is as like God um that works too. Well, look, okay. The fun thing about multiply layers is you can view them as sort of like a what's the correct way to do it? Like a wash or a film.
Mhm.
I don't know how old you are, but when I was in school, they had projectors. Back in my day, they had the projectors where you had the clear sheet and you write on it.
Yeah.
But when you hold the sheet up, it's still transparent,
Yeah.
So, say this is your thing and then this is your multiply layer. So when you put it over it, it adds to it. It's an additive type of thing.
Right.
So, this piece already finishes, so or is finished. Grammar, English, so you can just go in and like add on top of it. And you're not touching what's already done at all.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I do use multiply layers to like I'll oftentimes do two different ones, one for like these more fine detail shadows, and then sometimes I'll put like a lighter one over top that does sort of homogenize or like sort of just like get all the colors sort of under the same
Yeah.
thing, and then you can go in and erase that one and create some like rim lighting or something
Yeah.
in a few spots. But
Yeah, because that's how you do like that nice, pretty rim lighting and stuff is by. But yeah, so if you just like use a multiply layer as like to go on top of what's already there, like um just as an additive, you can add these like darker shadows and stuff, and
create more contrast.
yeah. And you do this all on top of the other one, so it doesn't actually like affect um the original drawing. And then what Nathan is talking about is that um say you want to match it to this pink. So you can put a pink layer over it. Um
Yeah.
And I'm gonna delete all of this shit. This is really dirty work.
Yeah.
It would look better how literally any other way that you do it. Just Jesus. Oh, God.
Launch the selection launcher. Whoops.
Yeah, on the other screen.
Whoops.
Yeah, so this is a really bad demo because I'm doing it in a really convoluted, stupid way, but just bear with me.
Yeah.
So, normally
Ideally you'd have like your flats all
Yeah.
on one layer, and then
Yeah.
you would just put the multiply layer on top of that with like either a selection or a clipping mask.
Yeah, do something like that.
But
Yeah, so this is what Nathan means, is that if you want to kind of combine
you put the multiply layer just over like the
character,
subject, yeah.
whatever you wanted to homogenize into the thing. So maybe this is a bit too bright, so we can adjust. Nope, we can adjust.
We can.
It.
Yeah, make it a little lighter. Yeah.
And then
you can go in and add some like cool,
Yeah, something like that.
and erase out bits to
Yeah.
yeah create highlights. It's another way to do it.
Yeah, something like
I like
something like
that.
that.
And
Something like that.
you can do
So
both. You can have if you bring back the other multiply layer you made.
yeah.
Wait,
So
yeah.
yeah, if you're trying to figure out how best to implement multiply layers into your workflow, all you can really do is kind of just experiment with the ways to use it. And that goes for any adjustment layer, but
Yeah.
this is kind of like the easiest, most
Yeah.
straightforward. Like,
Multiply is
here's something I can show you right now.
the one that I'm the most comfortable with because
Yeah.
it makes the most sense. I kind of get what it's doing, whereas other ones I like don't understand enough about digital color theory to know what is actually happening. Like multiply and then to a slightly lesser extent overlay are like the only two
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
really ever
overlay is
mess with.
good. Overlay and to a like lesser degree, like it's a less noticeable degree, soft light
Oh
is a good
sure.
way to kind of like put a bit of a like
Soft light.
wash over the layer, but in a way that will brighten it.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what program you use, but yeah, so that's a quick rundown on multiply layers. And I don't know what program you use, but I think Photoshop has this too.
Gradient maps.
Gradient maps are a good way to like instantly like harmonize colors because it'll just kind of force it on them. What are some good ones I got? Oh, that's a
Ooh.
fun
That is
one.
cool. Yeah.
But yeah, and then you can
Alt art.
adjust. Yeah,
Polaris.
you
Yeah.
can adjust the opacity. You can adjust the like how do you call it? Layer blending mode, blah, so that you can kind of fuck with it. But yeah, these will like automatically kind of limit the color range that's on display, and that's a really like quick and easy like, oh, I'm gonna like harmonize the colors method. So if you haven't checked out gradient maps, they're fun.
Yeah.
If you have Clip Studio, you can go into the asset store and just download a bunch of pre-made ones that are cute. So yeah, I hope you have fun exploring these tools because they make it extra fun.
Yeah.
And I hope that helped. Good work.
Yeah. He's really cool.
Yeah. Neat
Next.
is Yenna.
Dogus.
Oh boy. For the critique last month, I submitted some really rough stuff because I was learning to be less precious. So this time around, I would figure something I was a little precious with. I've been doing art for a little less than a year.
Whoa.
Mostly working on furry stuff after learning by drawing Pokemon every day. Finishing the piece, especially trying to get depth and texture on it, um, feels like my most notable struggle now, but I'm always happy to get feedback on anything that stands out. Thanks. Oh, this is so
I
cute.
love the texture on the ropes.
Yeah, like
A nice little lineless rope background.
yeah, but you're getting the Karina treatment, which
So
means we're gonna do this.
you know what we yeah.
um First things first, it's good. The first thing is that
First
this
thing,
is really
yeah.
good. What
For
do you
just a
mean?
year, yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean like a little less than a year? I'll kill you.
It's really impressive. Keep
Um,
at it.
yeah, this
Do
fucking
it do it
rules.
for multiple years.
Yeah, but now
Then
you're
come talk to
yeah,
us.
yeah, and then and then I'll fight you. um, but we're doing the nitpick thing because
Yeah.
like for how long you've been doing it, what the fuck? This is so good.
Yeah.
Nitpick time.
Yeah.
Real easy peasy. Part of finishing the scene, values. Whenever I do this, it's literally I'm just slapping a black color layer onto something, so it just kind of desaturates it. I feel like there's slightly different ways to do it, like,
Mhm.
and that'll yield different results, but this kind of just gets the job done, whatever.
Okay.
But like I think if you do like saturation, like negative, whatever, it uses a different how do you say algorithm or something. It does it differently, but it's roughly the same shit. So whatever. But yeah,
Color layer is the most true to the values. Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah. So there you go.
So that's why I usually do it. It's close enough either way.
Yeah.
But easiest fix right here right now is just to keep your eye on values, especially if it's like it's a character in a scene. But the folk it is just it's showing the character, but he's just in a setting.
Yeah.
Ner. Um so the the sky is a little too mid-tone. Where is it sitting? Actually, what am I doing? Yeah. I feel like the sky, we know it's blue, but it tends to be kind of brighter than we expect.
Yeah.
So, I would, and this is just I'm doing it this way because like I need to do this on top of a flat image, but oh Jesus. Not the rope. The rope is fine.
Rope is fine.
Yeah, the sky is typically brighter than you expect, and also depending on the lighting, you can make it more
Yeah, this
more
looks
cyan.
like a nice sunny day,
Yeah.
sort of. But yeah, and so this is you're just doing
This
an
is just an overlay layer
yeah.
just for convenience sake. Really sloppy job,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you get the idea.
This is just to
But yeah,
demonstrate.
just to demonstrate, I think one, lighten up that background, babe.
Yeah. It almost makes it match his eyes more.
Yeah.
You
Like
have this
I
color present
yeah.
in the piece already.
What can I say? I don't go outside a lot as much sometimes. So,
You're
I
busy.
typically kind of go for more of a like uh teal blue, like a more on the air on the side of like a warmer blue,
Yeah.
something more close to green than blue for sky because I think that looks nice.
I'd agree.
I don't know how often the sky is more of this kind of purplish color, or like a indigo, but when in doubt, just kind of brighten up the sky. If it's daylight, it's bright. It's a bright guy, and you can already see that, at least from the like his fur color, it already kind of like pops a bit more. Um, he's wearing a white shirt, but
You could
that's fine.
put that in. You could put some shadows on there.
Yeah.
His pecs are probably casting a little bit of a shadow on
I was
his.
gonna say like absolute nitpick. The pecs wouldn't sit on the shirt like that unless he was like really sweaty. Maybe he
He
is.
might be. Yes, just
Yeah, it's very
it's
and like
humid
in
out there
terms
on
of a
the.
simple like anatomy like rundown, the arms a little short. Usually it would fall like kind of down here,
Sort of.
right? Maybe
Yeah,
that's a little long.
like
It's
between the.
just too short. It's barely too short. Kind of there. Your pocket length. Yeah, it's just slightly too
Just a
short.
little bit.
Um, in
And
terms of
again, that'll
just
the more you practice drawing
yeah, but
anatomy, the proportion
that's
stuff will come.
again purely a nitpick.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just like more than anything, like technically the shirt wouldn't do that. Like you can indicate big booba through the shirt, but it wouldn't. There wouldn't be a like a visible fold down here unless the shirt like fully just sucked into his underboob.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure style,
Yeah, which
which
if that's just a stylistic choice, slay.
yeah,
Um,
in
but
which case really in that, lean into it. Play it up even more.
yeah. Um, but also, you say you do a lot of furry stuff. I get it. I'm kidding.
I
I'm
get it.
sorry.
No, it's good.
But yeah. I think the background is like really solid. Like I'm just like I know what it is. It's on a ship.
He's on a boat.
Easy enough. Um yeah, I think the main thing that was kind of like throwing me is that the sky was like a little too dark, which combined with the rest of the background made it look a little flat. I think just like, you know, adding, even if you're kind of cheesing it, because we're artists, we can cheese it, we
We'll
can
cheese
make it
it.
up. Um, Even if you're just kind of artificially separating things more, like also, if he's on a ship and the sky is over there, because the sky is in the sky. The sky's pretty far
The
away.
sky is in the sky.
So you can, especially if he's out at sea, you can like add atmospheric effect to kind of like further separate like that. And because the sky's far away.
Yeah, it's all the
That's
way in the
yeah.
sky.
But here, honestly, the sky looks like it's really close because the lack of value differentiation between it and the ropes makes it look like it's like surprisingly close to us. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas this, and then maybe you can add like, what am I doing?
Like a soft. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because when you're by the sea, there's moisture.
Little mist coming off the ocean, little foam.
And yeah, little things like
Spray.
that will like the devil's in the details.
Yeah.
So it's the little things that will like continue. I'm gonna get rid of this. That was pure nitpicking.
Yeah.
But yeah, because that already shit. I might be good at art. Shit, that kind of looks good.
It does. Yeah.
All I did was change the sky.
Yeah. I mean, it's a common thing, and again, it's a thing that I still do with my pieces too, where like I'll have the background, I'll leave doing the background to like the very end, and then I end up having to like scrutinize over it because I'm like, it can really make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Like it can either add or detract from a foreground that you spend a lot of time on. So it's worth just like considering.
But yeah, especially when you're doing stuff that's outside and the sky is like a big part of the background, like you can kind of just go crazy because the sky just like looks crazy. You ever looked at the sky?
You ever just like looked at it?
That's just crazy.
There it is. And even though we're not in the ocean, there is that like as it comes closer to the horizon, this sort of the more particulate matter in the air. It just like it gets.
There's a lot of gradation in it.
You had a nice little light gradient towards the horizon. It just like makes it feel more realistic.
I think that's another part of it is that with this sky, it's just one flat color with
bounce light, exactly.
Yeah, with clouds on it. Where if you add a little bit of gradation, it looks like a bit deeper.
Yeah,
but the sky's really, really big.
Even if you aren't using gradients anywhere else in the piece, just a little bit in the sky can.
I haven't even like really touched the ship because at the end of the day, like I can't draw a better ship than this. It looks good. It looks fine to me.
Yeah, I like the wood grain.
Yeah, like the floor is like really good. It's
nice.
It's good. It's very good. And this is just kind of like in my eye, the quick fix is just like, oh yeah, you just make the sky bigger. The sky's big. Yeah.
And I'd maybe would use less of a soft brush for the shadow on the foreground. Like if you're, I don't know, that's another nitpick. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing where I'm just like, I know it, but I would also do the same. I fear where it's just like a shadow. I don't wanna.
Yeah.
No, it's really good. Amazing work, especially if you haven't been like drawing for like ever. What the hell? Yeah, the character itself is really good. I love the face. The face feels just very like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So cute.
Keep at it.
Yeah, good work. Okay. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 more.
All right.
Next is Kid Talks. While I'm not finished with this one, I'd still like to critique it or submit it for critique. The plan for this is to have somewhat harsh shadows backlighting, and the more difficult thing is that I'd like to have some thoughts on how to do it well, giving a metallic look for the arm. Okay, I have to think about how to read.
You can do it.
It's hard.
We're in bonus time. It's fine.
the plan for this is to have somewhat harsh shadows, backlighting, and the more difficult thing that I'd like some thoughts on how to do it well, giving a metallic look for the arm creeping up past the shoulder, avoiding the common silver color for that and opting for a blonde gold while also keeping the fur texture. Um
Metallic but fur texture.
Interesting. I'm not gonna fully understand what you mean by that.
Are you
So,
here?
um, let's see.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so we're gonna have to guess. But
Metallic, but yeah.
yeah,
That's tricky.
well,
That's a challenge.
yeah. I also
Like,
don't know what the fur texture or the fur color is. So or texture. Going the common difficult. Yeah. I will say it is always a little bit difficult to like critique a piece that isn't fully like at a point where it feels kind of realized. So I'm just like, ugh, ugh, sorry if I sound stupid, but I'm trying to figure out what exactly you mean by that. Metallic look to the arm creeping up past the shoulder, avoiding the common silver color and opting for a blonde gold. Yeah. But I'm just gonna
yeah.
fucking
Just
finagle it
just
in.
try it, yeah.
I'll see what I can do. Shit.
So, step 1,
So it's metallic. It's metallic,
it's metallic. We
but
want
it
a
also
a
meets the
back
fur.
a backlit is what they said?
Now we'll get to that.
Well, that yeah,
Tall order.
that'll help with the knowing where the light's coming from will help with the metallic
That's
because
true.
metal tends to be very reflective.
Yeah. But
There,
okay,
yeah.
so all right, we'll put in a little that. We'll put in a little light source.
I feel like you're really good at making stuff look like the material you want it to look like with
Oh,
lighting effects.
thank you.
So I'm excited to
I
actually watch your process.
I'm mostly just trying to parse together all the bits of information I've been given.
I don't know how you're gonna do fur plus metal, but if anyone could, it's you.
Okay, because what I'm assuming is it's metallic, but
It's
keeping a fur texture. So it's still fur, but it's metallic fur.
metallic fur.
Okay.
It's like the way the sort of the grimace they're making. Maybe they're like becoming like metalized. Like
Yeah.
it looks like they're gripping their arm, like oh, I'm turning into metal or something. Like that's the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah. Um. What's that's that? And a
Like
lot
when Neo touched the mirror in the Matrix.
of jokes on you. I haven't seen the
You haven't
Matrix.
seen the
I
Matrix.
haven't seen a movie.
I know.
What the fuck?
It's fine. It's I just add it to the
I don't
list.
watch movies.
I'm gonna
God
make
forbid a
I'm gonna
woman
make
has
you
hobbies. The parentheses not watching
not watching movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll add that to the list. Princess
Okay.
Bride and The Matrix.
Yeah, all the classics that I've never encountered, and no one's forced me to watch it. So
Cultural touchstones. All
yeah, and yet
you're more culturally aware than I am. So see what good those did
okay.
for me.
Well, let's.
That was a sentence.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's just say, because let's just say that there's still like
Yeah,
fur.
with a brushed steel look.
Yeah.
It's gold.
This isn't gonna be great.
No, but you're
I'm
giving them a little jumping off point.
yeah, because I'm. This is me trying to figure out. This sounds mean. This is me trying to figure out what you.
Yeah.
No, I'm I'm interested to see what it turns out being because I'm like, huh?
Oh.
But
Yeah. If the arm itself is more metal than the rest of it, then it would be shinier, I think
yeah.
is the. Oh, you did the thing I usually do.
No, yeah. No, I've
no
never
one
done anything wrong.
no one saw it. I sound crazy right now.
Oh, you mean turn off streamer mode? I'm kidding.
Just the
Okay.
Lego Yoda.
Ah! Okay. I'm kind of freestyling it because
Yeah,
I haven't
vibing it
been
out.
drawing and I kind of miss it.
They gave you a
So
drawing prompt.
yeah. So you know what? I'm mixing in bits of like kind of a metallic like metal to the shading to kind of
Yeah.
give it because even though you want it to be gold, it's also because I'm not coloring any of this. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just add some gray. It's for metallic reasons, but also bounce light.
Yeah.
So because if you want it to be metallic, you gotta add a little.
Got out a little bit
Yeah.
for sure.
And that's both just like a grayish gold, a grayish yellow, and some more kind of cool tones, which are in this case a really desaturated green.
Yeah.
If you ever want metal to look more aged or yellow, just use a green
Hmm. Yeah.
because it'll still look like metal. Just
Yeah.
an FYI.
There you go.
So, but we're still gonna do the yellow tones for the highlights, and the highlights we're gonna have be fur
Whoa.
until further down the
Ah!
arm. Don't laugh at that.
Why? I thought
Corny.
I thought it and didn't say it, and then you said it, so I can laugh at it
Yeah.
because I wasn't the one who said it, even though I wanted to. I'm rubbing off on you.
Wah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Hope this helps.
Get well soon. But yeah, so that's my guess of what you mean of just like
Yeah.
have it be like more. I'm doing this also with the default G pen, so
Yeah.
it looks
You can
stupid.
do
I'm not. It's
yeah.
because I'm not texturing it, but yeah, it's a lot of adding a bit of hair detailing until here until it kind of starts to really just turn into metal.
Yeah.
In which case, it's gonna just be more smooth, like butter. We sang about in that TikTok where we hot knifed Bucky. Bucky, no.
Pop it. Lock it. Yeah, putting the highlight right next to the shadow, I feel like is a real like something that happens in metal
Yeah.
a lot. You get these like really intense shiny bits that like almost overlap with some of the darkest bits. And I don't know enough about
I'm
materials to know why it does that, but that is my like shortcut for
I'm gonna
drawing
be
metal.
so real. I have no rhyme or reason to most of what I've done so far. It's just vibes.
It's just vibes.
But I don't know. Is that what you mean?
Well, again, I would recommend literally just like Googling pictures of metal like things until you find one that looks like what you are trying to make.
Yeah.
Like you could look up bronze statue or
The Matrix.
gold statue, the scene from the Matrix where Neo touches the mirror.
Yeah.
There's no shortage of the freaking the the evil Terminator, the liquid metal Terminator in Terminator 2
Arr.
Judgment Day.
Yeah. This is a
Um,
very rudimentary off the dome version of what I think. I think part of it is just if let's just say for example that this is like the fucking
oh yeah,
like
a metal statue of an animal where the sculptor has carved fur effects using metal. That would be
yeah.
yeah. Oftentimes, if you're trying to create a specific effect of something that you could find reference for it and
Yeah.
see if you can just do like a
But
study of
yeah.
it. Do a study of it before you go and apply it to the piece you're working on, and just draw from that reference, try and replicate that reference, and then see what you can translate from that
Yeah.
to the piece you're working
Because
on.
my understanding of your prompt is just like, oh, it's about the textures kind of meeting too, and I'm just like, then just just do it in a way that incorporates both, and then they just kind of tape like go away down the arm. My
Yeah.
opinion, but I hope this helped. I don't know.
Yeah, I really think no, because sometimes you can get so tunnel vision on a piece that you're like, I just have to go straight ahead. You can always set the piece aside and be like,
Yeah.
there's a specific effect I want to achieve in this piece. Let me just practice making that effect, studying that
Yeah.
effect on something else, and then come back to the piece and see if that helps.
Yeah. So good luck on finishing this piece. Thanks for being a
Thanks for
patron.
being a patron.
I'm sorry, I'm just like, oh,
Yeah, no, it's a
but
very specific effect you're going for,
yeah,
so I would recommend trying to find reference
yeah, because
in real life of
I can only take
that.
guesses.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you. Good work. Keep it up. Post your further work in the channel
yeah.
if you can.
If you finish rendering this piece, post that. If you do any studies relating to this piece, feel
Why?
free to share those as
Yes,
well.
because I think you have a strong idea of what you're trying to achieve, so just feel it out. Okay, next is Bear Scare, who actually
Sent a video.
sent a video. I'd like to present my final project for Intro to Animation for Critique.
Whoa.
Welcome committee. No audio. 48 seconds. Trigger warning. Skeletons and off-screen implied death. Just
Okay.
FYI.
FYI.
I forget. Is this capturing only clip?
It's a. It's
Nope.
not. We did
Yippee.
it. Got it in one.
Okay. So welcome.
Love this walk cycle. He's so mischievous skeleton.
Yeah.
Wow. Got him. That's really fun.
Nice. And yeah,
Yeah,
the,
you're
the
the
title card was there.
my critique is that's really fun. Karina's the actual animator, so she can give actual
Yeah, this is really good, especially for an intro to animation.
yeah.
Um, I in Procreate Dreams and Procreate. I've never used Procreate Dreams. I keep meaning to check it out, but I don't have free time apparently. Um,
We've got we've got sort of a big stream coming up.
yeah, so no, I mean in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, cuz um
Love the little bush wiggle.
yeah, it's really
He
cute.
pops up and just his little like he's so nonchalant dragging his saw.
Yeah. Dreams has some jank. I kind of expect that much, but I'm still always curious to check out like
Yeah.
what's up at any point. Yeah. No, I really like the simplicity of Le Skeleton character design, and it's still somehow so scampy. Like he's so silly. He's so silly, but he's like a very simple design. So it kind of just goes to show that like you've done a really good job like conveying his scampiness by actions alone. Um I I will say just I guess my first thing is there's a lot of how you say, because I'm like let me mm, 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 um like the animation itself feels like you're kind of doing it on a bit of a limited style, which is good. Like that. But it does feel, and I think I can kind of see this even in the background itself, that there's a little bit of uncertainty in, or not uncertainty, or you're still like struggling a little bit with like um your brushwork, for lack of a better way. Because I don't know if that's just like you with the program or what, but it's a little like uneven at points, and maybe that's a stylistic thing, maybe not. But I do feel that in terms of the character model, again, and I don't know if this is a if this is like a stylistic choice or a limitation of the program. All of these things are totally normal. But the character model is a little jittery. Um even when he's like standing still, there's a lot of popping of the line quality.
Mm.
Like uh even there, like not to go any slower than this, thanks. um the line quality of the skull kind of like changes in thickness, which which is totally fine, but you can kind of see that it how you say, kind of it wobbles a lot.
Yeah,
And
a little wobbly.
I don't know if that's on purpose. um and something that I am thinking now that I look at the wobbling is wondering if you are doing straight ahead animation rather than like keyframing.
Mm.
Um, which again, none of this is like incorrect. I don't believe in there being like okay, there are correct methods to animation, but not in this case. It's fine. For simplicity's sake, I'm like, no, it's all good. Intro to animation. But yeah, because it does feel like there's a lack of shape control. Like you can kind of see here that the body kind of like floats out when he lifts his arm and then changes shape again,
Mm.
and stuff. And this isn't quite correct because I'm kind of skipping the frames really weirdly because of the playback controls. But you can see that it's not one consistent shape. It's like kind of ing around, um, which can both be like corrected by using keyframes, and also just like um, anything that's not moving, you can either put in a guide so that you stay on model, or or you can just copy and paste the same
Sure.
thing. Yeah. Uh,
Keyframe the binoculars, straight ahead of the walk cycle, straight ahead of the car going around the bend, and
yeah.
the sign fall.
Yeah, for like the car, especially like you're crazy animating a car. You're crazy for that. Yeah. Like like that's fine. I don't like the car doesn't the car I would probably straight ahead too, just because it's like who cares? You don't even see it at the end and it's changing shape so much that
Right.
like yeah, but how do I put this? Yeah, I think the main thing, and again, I'm not familiar with Procreate Dream, so I don't know how like usable it is. But the main thing that was kind of distracting to me, um yeah, I think since it's like kind of such a simple movements and simple character design is that there's nothing wrong with doing straight ahead. But the only thing is just that the uh line quality is so wobbly that I can't tell if it's intentional or not, you know? In that little clapping scene, like the head changes so much and like the body is kind of bowing out a little bit.
Yeah, maybe
That
if
one I can tell you looped, so it's like a little funnier, but
maybe if the background was also kind of wiggly, make
yeah,
it
I
seem more
think that's
intentional.
true. I mean, because like that's what we do with like when we did like the Drawfee animations, like everything
For the
was a little
Newsday,
wiggly.
yeah, Jacob would just draw it twice
Yeah.
and have the whole thing be, yeah.
So, but yeah, I think since it's only the characters wiggling that it like particularly stood out to me. But this is like a nice little short. I like it.
Yeah, it's really effective storytelling.
Yeah. Simple,
And
clean.
you manage to get a lot of characterization in the skeleton, even though like his actual facial expression never changes. He's like very
Yeah.
uh he's a character. Like you get
Yeah.
him. He's a little mischievous.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Just
think
deadpan.
yeah, the main thing I mean, and I was like, do I have any like example of this? Not in any way that I feel like digging up. Yeah, I think because for me, because I'm just like again, I don't know if this was on purpose or not. I did find like the line wiggling um to be just like a little too unintentional that it um and again, there's nothing wrong with any of this, but I'm just like, here, let me because it's also that when he stops moving, the lines don't jiggle.
Mm,
So
right, yeah, even if
no, because
you
I'm just like, I I'm just here because I uh didn't get any you can fucking find my old animations online. I got the line jiggle up the wazoo, as the kids say.
yeah.
So, but then I ended up working professionally as a cleanup artist, ironically. So here's basically what you do. This is just like for your reference, in case you want to know. In case, and if you don't want to know, just kill me, I guess. Um, that's fair. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to have picked on you. So say this is your guy.
Maybe someone watching wants to know, you know?
Yeah.
It's for them.
This is something that, like, it feels very obvious, but I didn't even, like, ever once in my life do this until I worked as a cleanup animator and had to follow someone else's, like, style
Mhm.
because I constantly needed revisions. So say this is your frame 1. Uh, and then, um, and then this is
You're doing great. You're
and
doing
then this
so
is
good.
your this is your keyframe, your next keyframe. God, this is a bad example already. Is. And I didn't even finish drawing this one. I'm a genius. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna, so that's the keyframe we're going to, and now we're gonna tween them. So I'm gonna do this real quick so we can onion it. But yeah, so same. Actually, no, I'm trying to prove a point here.
Mhm.
Okay, this is fucking guy. I don't know. Maybe this makes more sense, especially if you straight aheaded. But so say I'm like, you know,
Oh, she
Um,
forgot to, how words.
no,
Ba
this
ba
is
ba ba
just
ba. Ba ba ba
I'm
ba ba
fucking
ba
stupid.
ba 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 Patreon.
Yeah. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. So say this is how far you got, just kind of like freehanding it, straight heading it. So now you can be like, oh, it doesn't match my original guide or something. And this is really good, especially when the head is moving, because the head is going to move around and you're going to change shapes. And this was yeah. So now you have a guide that you can follow. I am doing it wrong. This sucks.
I think it's I
Yeah.
find this as someone who
Well,
doesn't
here,
animate,
I
I
feel
find this
like I
fascinating.
can risk it. Okay. Oh, that's your email. I was like, why do I have that many unreads?
Don't
What
tell
happened?
people how I live.
I didn't say the number. I didn't fucking say the
It's an
number.
embarrassing number.
I have like a much better example of this. I just need to find it. How did I do this?
It's been.
Okay. Hey, welcome to my Tumblr blog. Showing, right?
It's Sean.
Okay, so this is how I did like a shot that I animated a bajillion fucking years ago. And this is what I'm trying to show you. There is a shape guide uh in place. Like it looks crazy, but it's to make sure that I don't lose consistent shaping on the character because it's kind of a complicated design and it's going to look weird if I just try to match it. Like you can already tell that it's already like going to lose all of its shapes because I needed to do this shit constantly when I worked at a studio because the directors, I could not follow their styles. But yeah, so then by having these draw over layers, then I can make sure that the shape remains consistent the whole time and it's not just like punching in and out. Um, but yeah, so that's what I'm trying to show in a
Yeah.
very quick, bad way. But yeah, so this is just like a pre-made version I have. This is on my Tumblr blog from like 2017, 2016. Bleh.
Wow.
So, but yeah, that's what I mean. So, I just have these like guide layers. Like that's just a good way to maintain your shapes, and so you don't have as much wiggling. Um, like it'll still wiggle, but it'll look smoother as long as you guide in the shapes and you don't go off model. So that's what I'm trying to show you,
Yeah,
and we
and
can stop
then
now.
every time you break the shape, it's for like it's intentional. It's
Yeah,
to bounce it, to add movement to it. But it's
yeah.
yeah.
So
I
that
just
that's
think
what I
of
was trying to show you, and then I was like, I did a bad job showing it. I'm just gonna dig up this stupid thing from my Tumblr for a million years ago. But yeah, that's my main thing that I was like thinking about when I watched yours because I'm like, it's a great story. I'm like, more than anything, it's just kind of like the line quality feels really wobbly, and yeah,
paraphrase Wes Anderson, if you're gonna have it look like that, make it look like you did it on purpose.
yeah,
Make it seem like you
yeah.
did it
Because
on
I'm just like,
purpose.
I wasn't super sure if you did on
However,
purpose. That's all.
however you want to make it look, make it seem like it's on purpose.
But yeah, but otherwise, that's a really good like intro to animation. Kind of implies that like it's your one of your first shorts, if at all, and that's fantastic. Like that's so good. Good
Yeah,
job.
really charming.
Yeah. But yeah. So I hope that meant literally anything. I made all these layers for
Seems like
what?
it. People are saying good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Yeah. I was a cleanup artist for some reason for a while. They
Whoa.
literally just asked me to do it, and I was like, "Sure." You've seen my cleanup though, right?
Right?
And I had to learn on the job. Anyway, we got fit.
Yeah.
There you are. um, but yeah, who says I just joined now, so I hope I'm not too late to participate. You made the cutoff. Good job. You weren't even the last one who made the cutoff. Good job. I'm doing that thing where I'm sweating and my eyes gonna start to water. I'm not sure what all to specify, but I have a couple drawings I'd like feedback on. The first one is my D&D character in a pinup-esque sort of drawing. The little plushy guys are meant to remember and or resemble an NPC he's obsessed with. It's not healthy. That's so cute. I'm not healthy. Um, I don't mind feedback on anything, but the focus of the piece when I was making it was to get into rendering stuff because I hadn't remotely finished a drawing for a bit at that point. The second is more character design focused drawing. I'm not sure if I'll render it or not, but it's based on a prompt I saw that was to take a song you hate and make it into a character. And I had a lot of fun with that. I'm very curious what song. Um, in general, I feel like my weak points are anatomy and making clothing fabric feel believable and not just shapes slapped on the character, but any advice is super welcome. Are you kidding me right now? These are so cool. God, okay, Nathan, say something while I think.
I love the colors in the one on the left.
Yeah, they're both really successful in their color palette.
Um, yeah, they're the pose work as well. Like that's such a difficult pose, I feel like, and
Yeah,
you make it look very natural.
yeah, that's
And
very yeah, relaxed. Sometimes the hardest poses to really nail down are ones where they're just kind of at ease and relaxed
yeah,
because it doesn't have the same energy and dynamics as,
but it really
when they're moving
looks
crazy.
like they just fell into the real soft.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm
there's a real nice softness
gonna
to
have to
it.
really nitpick these ones.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
I'm starting to
struggling.
see. Yeah, because you said your focus on this one was like rendering. Oh God, down my water bottle, my little sippy cup. Um, yeah, no, I think the rendering on this is beautiful. Like the colors are really good. I know it's like my bit to kind of pull out like, the color layer and
Yeah,
like value check, but I mean, I think you have a color palette here and like you obviously know what you're doing and you kind of know like the color theory, so I'm not gonna um but no, I think this is really good. Like I genuinely don't know what to say about this, and it makes me wish I had fucking time to draw sluts. But I guess if anything, I would say that like it's very it's throughout, so it feels very intentional, it feels fine, but, once I started to zoom in, I was like, "Okay, it's definitely kind of, like, picked at and, like, not fully, like, smoothed out." Not that I think it has to be, like, I think this is fine. Looking at, like this, I'm like, "Oh my god, it's done." But I can see, like, the brushwork, and I like seeing brushwork on pieces. I just feel like some parts are more realized than others. Like, your D&D character is like clearly the focus, clearly where the most love is going. Everything's kind of like really, really detailed. But I think beyond that, some of the elements start to come off as clearly more of an afterthought, namely the white stuff, the feathers, the white stuff.
the white stuff.
Yeah, because I feel like they look fine, but compared to everything else, they're kind of the most unfinished part of the piece.
Sure.
And there's points where it does like I'm like I wouldn't notice if there weren't little bits where I felt like it was kind of like detracting from it, where
Mm,
I'm just like, okay, it feels less intentional because I can kind of see like the underdrawing that you're following, and then some of the lines kind of go out of it. Um and but
yeah.
yeah, no, I'm like, I don't think there's anything wrong with, especially 'cause I do it. I don't think there's anything wrong with having like a sketchy like line art. I don't think there's anything wrong with showing your work and like having the brush strokes be visible or anything. I just think that, if I had to pick one thing to say about this piece, because I have to,
Yeah, since you
because it's a
told us
critique
to.
stream and
Yeah.
I'd feel stupid just sitting here being like, wow, this is so good. Like, what the fuck? What do you want me to say? It's that these kind of feel a little too unrefined compared to the rest. Like, they're clearly like the least like important element of it. But you look at you know this area. Let's pick out this area. Um,
Getting
this
excited.
area. And then this area, and you know, you can kind of tell that like this one had the least amount of time put into it.
Mm.
Just because it feels like the least refined, because even if a lot of this isn't cleaned up,
Mhm.
um this one
It's
is
more
just
noticeable.
noticeable,
Yeah.
whereas this one, like these two areas, even though like these are two different subject matters, it feels, you know it feels kind of like you knew what you were doing. Because, then you look at like stuff like in the background and maybe it's kind of at the same layer, but since these are on top, it kind of sticks out. That's my absolute nitpick of this piece that I love.
One potential fix for that is because the feathers are like more in the foreground, you could even like create the illusion of like a focused lens and have them like blurrier, you know?
Yeah.
You could even make them look like more out of focus and like they're moving.
There, they were a bit less intentional in execution. I probably should have had a reference for the feathers. Eh, I mean, I feel like, your work is clearly stylized, so,
Yeah.
they don't need to look like realistic feathers. They kind of just need to be cleaned up or like cleaned up, but, im- finished, with the intention of the rest of it, where I think it's because like they kind of have line art, but they kind of don't. They don't feel like quite the
Yeah,
same as every other thing in the
they're
piece.
just not the same level of
Yeah, while
like
also being on top of everything.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, no, I'm really grasping at straws of what to say. Okay.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I think that's a fair critique. But
But yeah.
it's a very good piece and there are
Yeah.
lots of
It's
elements that I'm not sure I would be able to do
it's
if
really
I were
good, man.
making it, if I were trying to replicate it.
Yeah.
So,
And as for this one, because you didn't necessarily, my weak points are anatomy.
disagree.
Yeah, what? Sure, I guess. If you say so.
Oftentimes my
Um,
note is just like, yeah, practice anatomy, you'll get more comfortable with it. It seems like you're very I mean,
yeah.
you can all no matter how good an artist you are, you can always practice anatomy more, but I feel like you are in a pretty good spot where you are able to understand it enough to be able to stylize it
What
and
kind
still create like a real
what kind
natural
of vibes
feel.
do you get from the character? Get from him character wise, the second one?
Seems like a little silly. Yeah, a little silly, a little slutty.
Yeah.
They're blushing. They've got the wine. It looks like their left shoe is about to fall off. Uh, and they're here to have a good time.
Yeah.
Here for a good time, not a long
I'm
time.
very taken with the shapes of this one.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I love the way you did the coattails. It's very you nailed it. Very good. Very dimensional. Man, what do you want me to say?
You're good at drawing.
You're good at drawing. What the hell? What the hell? Yeah, I didn't notice it until you pointed it out, but I wasn't sure if the shoe was kind of slipping or
Yeah,
if
I
that's
think
the shape of the leg.
that looks intentional. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the other one's more.
Yeah. But beyond that, I don't have a lot to say about this one. I'm just very like I love the way you like did all the shapes for this one in both the clothing and the anatomy. Like,
Yeah,
so good. What the hell? What the helly?
really nice. It's yeah. I love the spread uh of different stages people are at in their
Yeah,
artistic journeys that we get on these critiques.
for real. Like, this one feels like very comfortable for you. This this one I feel like you were kind of trying new things and were successful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah,
Um
keep at it.
yeah, I'm just like I want to have more helpful things to say to you, but like it's good. It's good. I haven't drawn anything this good in weeks. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
well, I think you've done some pretty neat stuff, but you don't count Drawfee
No,
episode
I don't
drawings.
count Drawfee, and you saw what I drew for next week's episode.
Next week's episode's good.
It's questionable.
People are gonna love it.
I feel more confident and slightly more stylized and shapy style. I can definitely tell, but I feel like you. I'm gonna. Yeah, I feel like with the one on the left, like you found a nice medium between kind of like the uh, like the stylization, and then trying to do something that's more rendered and maybe a more like realistic way. I think you're really nailing it. So I I can tell that maybe there were parts of this that you were floundering a little with, but I think it's a really successful piece. It's so cute.
Very cute.
Yeah, thank you for submitting. I wish I had more helpful things to say, but feel free to hit me up in the whatchamacallit Discord. I'll be there.
Yeah, I
Um,
love checking the Draw Class
yeah, I'm
Discord.
I'm definitely gonna peek at it. I like to. I always do. But yeah, and because we have one more, and then Nathan can leave.
I
And
live here now.
that's
Wait, this isn't my house. All
this is
right.
Sunny's house.
All right. Sorry.
But yeah, we have one more from Chimera, who was also sliding in at the last moment. You were so
You
lucky.
got in just under the wire.
Yeah. Working on some reference studies and started to like this one. Reference included. Would appreciate suggestions on how to push the pose and expression before I proceed to the next step. Redline it, liquefy it, mess it up. um, First of all, very cute reference, very cute drawing. Um, I will redline it. That's easy. Yeah, no, this is great. And I love the sass of these characters. It's
Yeah.
very cute. I guess if you want to like push the pose, I think, and this is kind of something that I've done just ad nauseum in my various like anatomy and dynamic bullshit classes, is kind of just do it then. Push the pose.
You won't.
'Cause it's and this is a very like kind of, you know, stand straight, like not crazy pose. So, it's not gonna be like that, you're not gonna go that crazy with it, but you could. You could if you wanted to. And also if you don't want to, you can still kind of like loosen it up a little. Cause I feel like with yours, it's a little like n- this sounds mean. It doesn't. It's not. It's good. It's a good pose practice, and but yeah, it feels like if you want to push it, then the pose is very squared right now.
Oh, there's some classic Karina
Yeah,
anatomy stuff to finish us off.
'cause, yeah, because you
Got it.
kind of break it down to the basics, like it's a little squared off, and like the original pose is a little squared off, but you can push it. it's a very stable pose. Whereas in the original, it's kind of the same way. Let's find them damn bones.
Find the bones.
Yeah, I do feel like
The bones and the bendy bits.
yeah,
Just like I
because
was saying earlier.
no, yeah, I'm like no, this is great. You did great work. I
Yeah,
love this
even
reference.
the reference is a little bit more pushed
Yeah,
than what you ended up
yeah, because I
with,
think you, yeah,
which is it like I get it. It's you don't like you want your drawing to seem like stable, like the
yeah,
but
and also I
bodies.
don't know how much if you like adjusted it for to account for like their
Oh
characters,
sure,
but yeah, because there's always just a bit,
but yeah, bodies are bendier than we expect.
yeah,
You can bend them more.
yeah, because I'm like I don't know if this one like maybe in yours there's more of like a because yeah she looks way more pissed about it
Yeah, she.
and yeah way more like
Gonna have to
her
kill this
back is
guy.
more arched where yeah because with the original like the back is more arched like that where yours it reads kind of more for lack of a better term hunched
Yeah.
is how I read it um it's okay if everyone got in late it's just we were doing stuff before this stream. That's why Nathan is here. So I didn't
I
get to
just showed
update
up.
the file like that close to stream time.
Sorry.
But yeah. So I would just say that if you wanna push the pose and make it a little bit like more, you know,
Pushed.
fake dynamic. Let's say fake dynamic. Because they're not moving. They're standing there looking cute.
Right.
But if you ever want to add a bit more flow to the pose, it's about the bean shape.
Think about sexy Flanders again.
Oh my god.
Karina, I'm here to make the stuff you say seem smarter by
That's
comparison.
true.
That is the
But
role
yeah.
I serve.
And also another thing is just again, you started from a reference, so I'm just comparing it to the reference. The shoulder is a bit more like in on this one. And that's not to say that you can't adjust the reference, but
Right.
yeah, so maybe if you wanted it more out,
Push it out.
yeah, maybe it's a bit more raised.
There's the
And
ice cream truck is outside. I don't know if you can hear it, but
then that
it's
bastard.
just been playing for the past few minutes, and I don't think it's going anywhere.
Yeah. But
So
yeah, because I think the main difference is the posture of the character on the right, because the yeah the reference is more like this.
tempting me with ice creams. Exactly.
I have coolish. You like coolish?
I don't know what that is.
It's those like Japanese ice creams where it's like a pouch and you let it melt a little and it's like a milkshake or a soft serve.
I don't think I've ever had one.
You want to try it after
Sure.
this?
I
Oh
also
yeah.
still have all my leftovers from
Oh,
lunch,
that's true.
but I don't.
Breakfast of
They've just been
champions.
sitting in the box. I didn't put them in the fridge or anything. So,
I can pull out the air fryer.
all right.
If you want to have them for dinner.
Eh,
But
we'll
yeah,
figure it out.
yeah, but yeah, I think the main thing I noticed is that if you wanted to kind of like really closely resemble the reference, is that the pose is kind of squared up a little bit. So, which is that just kind of depends on your intention, really.
Yeah.
Um, I that's kind of most of it. This is a good drawing otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, and most of the things that I'm saying are kind of just focused in like the bean area, the torso area.
Yeah.
So everything else about it is really fantastic.
Yeah. I
These
really
characters
like
are so
the.
cute. I like the dynamic that comes from this reference photo.
Yeah.
It's very good on them.
Yeah. You did a good job translating that.
Yeah.
But you can always push it more.
Yeah. When in doubt, just add more like
More curve.
curvy body lines.
Think
Like
of Sexy Flanders.
yeah. But yeah. So I hope that made sense and helped because I think that's it.
Wow.
Wow, you only went.
An hour and a half over.
Okay, I'll take it.
That's pretty good.
Sorry.
No, it's good. It's a crit stream. It's
Yeah,
gonna
they
go long.
always go long. We can try our hardest. We can never speak of it, but it always goes long.
Yeah, thank you so much for supporting us on
Yeah.
Patreon, and especially thank you for submitting stuff. It can definitely be
You're very brave.
intimidating, yeah, but it's really nice because to paraphrase something an improv coach once told me, it's like try something because even if you make a mistake, we all learn. And so I guarantee someone watching this VOD, for every piece, there's someone at a similar place in their art journey watching this who is grateful to you for submitting something similar to what they're making, because they were able to learn from this as well. So that you've done a service to art in general by doing that.
Yeah, thank you guys. And yeah, let us know any updates or fixes or anything you got out of this in the Discord channel.
Yeah.
I like to see them. I like to be like, "Oh wow, maybe I did say something cool."
And if you're watching the VOD later, we're doing this again in 2 months.
Probably, yeah.
The next it'll be, this is the end of May one, and so end of June I'll be doing a guided practice, and then end of July you have until the end of July to get another piece in for the next crit stream. Assuming we're doing one then.
Yeah, and if you didn't make the cutoff this time, I'm sorry. I think it's for the best that we stop it here. But
Yeah.
you know, if you're not still submitting the next time around, I will throw it in there as an apology.
Yeah, and you'll be able to see the VOD.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks so much, everybody. Everyone watching live, be sure to tune in to the Pride stream next week.
Yeah.
And if you're watching the VOD, it probably already happened.
Did I crash out? Comment down below.
Comment your favorite thing from the Pride stream.
Yeah, please.
Your favorite Karina crash out moment.
Yeah.
From the Pride stream. We're really excited for that. Y'all are the best.
Yeah.
Happy drawing.
Happy drawing. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry.
Sorry.